But the dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard has laid poor Jesse in his grave. It was Robert Ford, that dirty little coward. I wonder how he does feel. For he ate of Jesse's bread and he slept in Jesse's bed. Then laid poor Jesse in his grave. Poor Jesse had a wife to mourn for his life. 3 children, they were brave. But the dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard has laid poor Jesse in his grave. Now Jesse was a man, a friend to the poor. He never would see a man in pain. And with his brother Frank, he robbed the Chicago bank and stopped the Glendale train. It was Jesse's brother Frank that robbed the Gallatin bank and carried the money from the town. It was in this very place that they had a little race, for they shot Captain Sheep to the ground. Poor Jesse had a wife to mourn for his life. 3 children, they were brave. But that dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard has laid poor Jesse in his grave. It was on a Saturday night and Jesse was home, talking with his family brave. Robert Ford came along like a thief in the night and laid poor Jesse in his grave. Then the people held their breath when they heard of Jesse's death and wondered how he came to die. It was one of the gang called Little Robert Ford that shot poor Jesse on the sly. Poor Jesse had a wife to mourn for his life. 3 children, they were brave. But the dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard has laid poor Jesse in his grave.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The System is Down, the least comfortable show on the internet. My name is Dan Smotz, and I have a co-host who's not here. There he is! There's Dave! Dave! How's it going, Dave? I don't have you... Wait, I do have you muted. Hi, Dave.
Hello. Great to be with you and unmuted.
Yes, always a pleasure. Dave, the world of conservatives is collapsing again, and probably the apocalypse is upon us. How do you feel?
I can't wait. I've been waiting for this the pendulum to swing back and smash us. So yeah, I'm here for it, dude.
We're all gonna die. Now, before we get into anything, I gotta remind you guys about you guys in the Downers Club. People like Abrogate Authoritarians, Michael, Mark, Scott. I need to update this list. I think there's 1 or 2 more that I haven't put on here. I'm sorry your name wasn't on here. I will read your name twice if it's there. If I go to the Patreon after this episode and you are there, even if you sign up during this episode, I will read your name twice on the next episode, unless I forget. And because of you and your selfishness, I completely forgot to read everybody else's name. But if you'd like to have your name on that list and possibly have it read incorrectly someday, go on over to patreon.com/thesystemsdown and sign up for the Downers Club. You can get more weird, more raw, more offensive, more fun. I don't think we're doing an after party today, but today's main episode is going to be a lengthy one, so buckle up, and you can get the ad-free version. So if you don't like the 1 or 2 ads that I throw in here, you don't have to, and you can support the show at patreon.com/thesystemsdown. Okay, now let's do the thing. Let's roll the thing, and you go out and share it. We're at a different time on a different day, and our numbers seem to be a little lackluster, so go out and call the horde, and let's do some Jew stuff.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live. Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
But ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that.
I don't know what I said.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves were possessing weapons of mass destruction.
9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth.
I remember that with that smoke. We are still here.
We have to say yes to
Let you know tomorrow. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Oh yeah, it's a big club, big old club. But you're in this club though. Dave's in this club. Dave,
Hell yes.
how you doing, man?
Doing great, dude.
How you doing on this fine late hump day, post hump day?
I'm doing good. Yeah, that intro music still slaps. I love
That's
it.
right. That's right. Fight for liberty. He can agree on at least one thing with you.
We're still friends. I'm not blocking that kid yet. It's all good.
Yeah.
He's a good one. Thanks for the chat last time.
Quick to the fake super chats with Ronwell Nagalis says, fake super chat, Dan, just so you know, it's my birthday today. And to that I say,
Hell yes.
nope, that's the wrong button. Nope, that one, whatever, we'll do this.
You're lucky, bro. I thought he was going to hit you with the Nazi fag. Oh, was that it? You did.
It's there. Happy birthday, Ronwell. And to all of you whose birthday it is today, happy birthday to Ronwell. All right, Dave, some stuff's going on in the news, and it kind of feels like a repeat. Feels like we've been here. We've treaded a lot of this ground within the last year, but there's some new sprinkles to it that make me really, I don't know, just having fun on this timeline, because not to get too ahead of ourselves, but just the snapshot, the fast forward, Alex Jones called Rabbi Shmuley, butt plug Rabbi, and we're going to get to that, but that's just a little sneak peek of the wholesome content to come. If you have kids in the room, it's time to go. Dave, we've got a few things to talk about before getting into the Candace Owens, Daily Wire, all the conservative bullshit. But you brought up Diddy too. Do you have more Diddy knowledge than I do? Because I don't know what Diddy did or Diddy didn't do, and
Bro, I'll say anybody who's on Twitter should go follow Ian Carroll, I think his name is. He's a TikTok content creator, and he's got a couple 100,000 followers on Twitter, but this guy does like straight up investigative journalism, and he goes hard. He's done some really cool stuff on like the major corporations that are, probably some deep state operations out there. I'm not going to name them. Go watch his content. But yeah, he kind of, I think 50 Cent was doing some work on Diddy as well. But yeah, man, this looks like, to me, I'll reserve judgment.
Did work on Diddy.
Sorry. Fitty did some work on Diddy. Yeah, bro. He's been alluding to the fact. He's been alluding to the fact that this guy is probably, less than savory for a couple years, like kind of in the public. Yeah. And I think he's got a documentary like in the can, ready to go. Like as soon as, they maybe call something, because he's been going pretty hard
to release it.
Exactly. But from what I can tell, bro, this looks like another classic Jewish mafia style sexual blackmail operation run out of many of Diddy's houses, but certainly the one that he lived in.
Dave, you're sounding a little like Candace Owens there.
Well, you can cancel me, bro. I don't care. It's not worth anything to anybody. But it looks like the same style thing. He dude with mansion who was set up by a millionaire above him in the mafia class, in the record industry. That guy is Clive Davis, if you guys are paying attention. That's the guy who took a failed A&R guy and said, you know what? You're my guy. Let me put you up in here and you're going to start this empire.
Yeah.
Which, looks like it might have some victims in there, including Usher and little Justin Bieber. That's what they do.
Are you saying these fellows are innocent and they've just been framed Epstein style, or they have done stuff and it's being used as blackmail against them?
I think it looks like, anyway, that maybe Diddy did some things to at least Usher back when he was like a child, like a 10, 11, 12-year-old child. And
Diddy
that's,
did the diddling?
I mean, Diddy had like Diddy's summer camp where like parents would just drop their
His name is Diddy, y'all. What'd you think?
Bro, Puff Daddy, Bad Boy Records. Bro, I know. You're talking to a guy who went to the No Way Out tour with my side Dan. He and I went to that fucking show in the 90s. Busta Rhymes, Foxy Brown, Mace, Biggie had just passed, but like they were dropping his shit through the, big monitors and stuff. It was a kick-ass tour. All those puffy suits and shiny suits had everybody mesmerized. But yeah, it looks like he's a bad man, dude.
So the allegations are what exactly? He trafficked kid? Like, I don't know even what they're accusing him of specifically.
It looks like he's probably guilty of, I don't know about the human trafficking stuff, but at least abuse of probably some kids and lots of illicit drug use, probably with minors and stuff like that. They said like he made sure that like every one of his servants and butlers and maids all had like all his favorite drugs on them at all times, so that wherever he is in the house at any point, it could just be like coke. This guy's been like a mess. But that's what they do. They go out and they find like
if you could do that, wouldn't you? If you had the maids and butlers and the drugs.
Well, these are the guys who the system, Dan, employs to control everybody else. The guy, like your JFKs, right? If you can be controlled with money and pussy and and liquor and drugs and all the shit, then you will be a valuable asset. So that's what Diddy is.
Yeah.
Looks like, allegedly.
Well, it's a little early. We shall see where that one goes, and maybe I'll look into it a little bit more and have a little bit more of an opinion on it. But now, as I said, there's going to be some dark themes to today's episode. And we're starting right off the bat with Diddy diddling Usher and shit. So I think it's important that we start on a calmer note and bring everybody back down to earth. So, Dave, did you ever watch Blue's Clues back in the day?
No, I missed that one.
Is this after your time? Okay. So Blue's Clues was a show with a blue cartoon dog and a man in front of a green screen who would talk to the camera and wait for it to respond, thus making the writing content of the show only have to be about 10 minutes because the rest of the time is filled with waiting on the audience and the children to respond. Now, I just think that this is wholesome and a good way to start out such a degenerate episode of this show with Steve, who is worried about all of us.
Hey, I'm checking in. Tell me, what's going on?
Is there somebody out there that is taking this seriously? That is like genuinely like, are millennials this, I don't know, worthless that they're like, it's the guy from the kids show, I'm going to talk to him on the TV again? Is there anybody like that, or is this a joke?
And he's not trolling. He wouldn't do that because he knows his audience are too they're too fragile for that.
Yeah, it feels like a joke, but it's not. And if it's not, then I'm not sure what this cringe is for, but we are 21 seconds in, and we're only halfway there. Let's see what else this man has to say. So long.
Why would anybody need to go to therapy when you could just turn this video on?
I think he's just waiting for you to respond, Dave.
Well, it's good to hear from you. You look great, by the way.
This is where we're at, you guys. That's where we're at.
Yikes.
Now, Dave, I'm going to play that whole 59 seconds again. I want to hear you respond to Steve and tell him how you're feeling. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm checking in. Tell me, what's going on?
Well, listen, Steve. I wasn't around when you were around earlier, man. Where the fuck were you when I needed you growing up? And then you just show up fucking 30 years later, fucking giving me the eyes like you care, and I know
Dear
you
Steve.
fucking don't, Steve.
Dear Steven, I know I wrote you, but you ain't calling. All right, that's enough. That's enough.
You're phony, Steve.
We could be together too. Anyway, now whatever happened to Eminem? I think he died. I think Donald Trump killed him. He shot him on Fifth Avenue and got away with it. Don't fact check me, bro.
Very sad.
In other news, now that we are all wholesomely uncomfortable by Steve, let's get into the yuck, which is politics, of course. Now, last week we discussed RFK announcing that he was going to announce his grand, spectacular, whatever, his VP pick that was going to change everything. And of course, to that, so I mentioned this last week. I'm going to mention it again. This guy, Derek Mondelli, says RFK is 100% going to win the presidency, and you will agree after seeing his VP pick. I figured it out a few days ago. There is no better pick. It doesn't exist. No hints. To which I said, me too. I totally know too. And it's so good. I'm just not going to say until right after he announces. But just know that I know. And when you know what I know, just know that I told you so. And then the update. See, I totally knew it was Nicole Shanahan. Now he's totally going to be president, you guys. Everybody loves Nicole Shanahan. You're stupid if you don't get it. So Nicole Shanahan, well, here, let's hear it from him.
I found all
Painful
of
as it
those
may be.
qualities in a woman who grew up right here in Oakland, the daughter of immigrants who overcame every daunting obstacle and went on to achieve the highest levels of the American dream. So that is why I'm so proud to introduce to you the next Vice President of the United States, my fellow lawyer, a brilliant scientist, technologist, a fierce warrior mom, Nicole Shanahan.
What?
Now, Nicole Shanahan, Dave, did that announcement, earth-shattering announcement, blow your mind as much as it did mine? Can you believe it's Nicole Shanahan of all people?
Bro, that's so pathetic. Can you imagine? I don't know what that guy, whoever he is probably a kid or either a paid operative or something. But I don't know if it was Tulsi or something like that. I could be like, okay, well, all right, you guys are doing something over there. I see you. Like that's actually exciting. I could see that working. You both were kind of screwed over by the DNC. You're like,
It would we were discussing it last week. Like Tulsi Gabbard or Vivek Ramaswamy. Those are both people that you might be able to convince me that he has a shot even at winning the presidency. But Nicole Shanahan being the choice that's going to guarantee that he becomes president. Dave, you got any thoughts on Nicole Shanahan herself?
Before we start talking about her, I think the only thing that this solidifies for me is what his function is and who he will pull from. Like what he will get 5, 10, maybe 15% of the vote. He's not going to be the president. Nicole Shanahan's not going to be the vice president, but he's going to do a definite, for sure, a big enough percentage to like pave the way for Donald Trump. Donald Trump and AIPAC is the big winner here. And they are not. That's why you don't see. It's funny. We've debated this and on other shows too. It's like, oh, I think he'll pull from the left. I think he'll pull from the right. You don't see Trumpers or Donald Trump, anybody panicking about or complaining about RFK.
Yeah.
They all know. Cambridge Analytica knows that they do not have to worry about that. You're going to pull off lefty supporters, classic lefty, Kennedy era Democrats. And that's enough to pave the way for, as Rabbi Shmuley said, the greatest U.S. president, as far as Israel is concerned, ever, Donald Trump.
Yeah. So,
Oy vey.
Nicole Shanahan,
Oh yeah, she's great. She's thrice divorced, 3 tiny hats, BT dub, and
I don't know anything about her at all. Like,
yeah,
this
bro.
felt to me like when this news came out, it felt like when Donald Trump announced that Mike Pence was going to be his running mate. Like, yay. Who
Yeah.
cares? Not
Yeah.
only that, but she has no experience in this area, but of course neither does RFK or Donald Trump. But Hector Roos,
She's a Democratic operative. Yeah.
Hector Roos says she breaks the Democratic Party stranglehold on Silicon Valley. I can dig that. Now,
Oh.
does she really break the stranglehold, or is she just a Silicon Valley Democrat who is
Carter.
also
Carter.
against vaccines?
Hector, that was awful. I can't believe you said that, bro. And full disclosure, he's promoting the Kennedy campaign, and that's cool. But I feel like, you guys are the libertarians for Kennedy, and you should not. I read their post earlier. It's just since Hector posted that. They're like, okay, she's not a Misesian or whatever, but things are yet to be seen. It's like we have no reason to expect that this woman will be friendly at all.
Things have yet to be seen when. Like, she is the pick. When do they have yet to be seen?
Well, like, because she hasn't
now
mentioned
she's become
specifically.
A libertarian.
This is just the vibe I got. I'm not putting words in their mouth, but like they were like, well, she hasn't mentioned that she's anti-Mises, so she could be. She could be. Like, that's bro. Yeah, come on, man. Let's be real here. This is a Democratic operative, a technocrat.
We're gonna do the debate soon on why. What's her fucking name?
Nicole?
What's her first name? Nicole Shanahan is the Libertarians' obvious choice for VP for 2024.
This is not helping the RFK Libertarians. I'm telling you guys. Sorry.
Anyway, that's that. I don't have much on it. We will see where it goes. Like, I'm sure it could be worse. It could be better. It's just, felt like such a nothing to me is my biggest issue. Like, she probably has ties to shady business deals or whatever in Silicon Valley that will come out, and then people will be like, oh, don't you care? Still, no, I don't really care. He's not gonna win. The least he could do is give us something fun to watch, but I don't want to judge her too harshly right off the bat. I don't think I've heard her say more than 5 words, and we're not going to today because I don't care. And we've got a lot of other things to get to. So
I'll just say I will judge her by the company that she keeps and her history, what I know up till this point, and it strikes me that she is following in the current trend of him being an AIPAC stooge, and she is along with that.
Sure.
And on for the ride. And he probably had little to nothing to do with selecting her. Nobody's ever heard of her fucking name ever. Nobody knows about that. It's not exciting.
I did hear. I don't know how true it is, but I did hear she donated. She donated the most money to his campaign. She bought a Super Bowl ad for the campaign that was millions of dollars worth. And I don't know. Some people have speculated that it seems like she bought her way into the vice presidential slot.
She's getting Larry Sharped, consulting fees. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, get that bag, bitch. Now let's go to based RFK real quick. They have the argument Nicole Shanahan could be the most powerful vice presidential selection in decades. Here's 9 reasons why. We'll go through it quickly. She has no brand recognition. This is not a reason. This is the preface. She has no brand recognition, no background in politics, no clout in moving the masses to the Kennedy ticket. She's a true outsider, so why was she chosen? Basically, what you just said is she's a nobody. She's nobody. Nobody knows her. So why? Let's find out. Number 1, she brings major tech donors. Okay? Big donors like Sergey Brin, I don't know, Google, Elon Musk, Mark Andreessen, and the Silicon Valley elite all have close ties to Nicole. So she's got close ties to very wealthy people. Okay, that's great. Number 2, boomer votes require money. So money, again. The baby boomer vote is a vote that is brought. So this is basically the same point that you're arguing, just that we need money, and this is how she gets money. Okay, so those are the same thing. Number 3, young people will love her. I don't know if we have any evidence of that. Nicole is the youngest political candidate on the ticket since Obama. Okay, so age. The Kennedy ticket was already leading with youth and independence, but now the enthusiasm is going to reach a Bernie Sanders fever pitch Dems should be very worried. So what you're saying is young people will love her because she's young, and that's it. That's all you gave us on why young people will love her. Okay. Number 4, she is the best female political candidate of all time. Well, that's compelling. Okay, Lisa. She is the leading and most qualified vice presidential pick for the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. ticket. She is the first female on the ticket to come from outside politics. First female from tech. She's beautiful. Is a qualification here. She's a lawyer, a mother, a self-made millionaire, a true blue American role model for the youth. Because that's what the youth love these days: a mom and a true blue American. Like,
and look into that
Taylor
self-made
Swift is doing so
millionaire.
well.
I think she divorced literally 3 multimillionaires. If not, there might be a billionaire in there. So she's following down the footsteps of Bezos's ex-wife, who became the richest woman in the world, smashed the glass ceiling through divorce. Do better.
Nicole is a warrior, though, Dave. A warrior. The road to the White House is a battle, but Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is taking on the entire system. The deep state, big pharma, the nonprofit censorship apparatus. It's a legendary level change. Okay. Having another legal warrior will serve the ticket well. So she's a lawyer. That's all you said in all of that.
You know what's better than a lawyer? 2 lawyers.
Right.
Woo! Revolution, baby.
Number 6, here's a good one. She gets it, Dave. She just gets it. She aligns almost perfectly with Kennedy on all his core issues. From what we know, Bobby picked her because of her willingness to be open-minded. She's not locked into orthodoxy. She's not locked into a party anymore. She's a proper independent now. Okay, that explains a very, like, all of these qualifiers explain very broad spectrum of people for the most part. She's pretty cool. That's why. Bro, number 7, she's based and dope as fuck. Like,
whoever this is geared towards, I mean, I'm rarely the smartest guy in the room, but you have to be a fucking retard to listen. Oh yeah, this sounds legitimate. Like, this is just so remedial. It's crap. Yeah. It's insulting.
Number 7, she's fighting a holy war. Nicole had a happy, beautiful, and coherent baby girl. So she's a mom. We've been over that.
Congratulations, right, yeah.
Up until around 7 months in, when her baby got vaccines and developed autism. Okay, so that still doesn't make her that's not a qualifier for being vice presidential pick, even if she does have reason to agree with him on vaccine skepticism. What does that have to do with being vice president? I don't know. Number 8, she understands AI. Well, at least she's doing better than Lisa. AI regulation is the most important thing, which also this point, number 8, proves that she's not libertarian. I think we've settled that case. She probably has her AI figured out. That's what I'm going with. AI regulation is the most important thing to the future of human civilization. The smartest minds on our planet say there's a 50-50 chance that AI kills us all. Most estimate we have 4 to 8 years before AI gets outside humans' ability to control. So, robots are going to kill us all, and she knows something about AI. So, done.
Look, you guys, I'm fucking hot, I'm young, and I've studied all the stuff, okay? I'm from California, and I know these people, and I've got billions of dollars, so...
Pretty much. That's what this guy's argument is, I guess. She's a Rorschach test for Democrats. She's the culmination of RFK Jr.'s best policies wrapped in a fresh face and a fresh voice that can attract.
That isn't it. That's a fresh voice. A way better voice.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. You need somebody to speak for you because.
Yep, that's true. But the bar was set pretty low in the voice category. No one is going to call her a quack. No. Yes, they are. If she's running with the guy that they're calling a quack because of vaccine alarmism, and she's doing the same thing, they're going to call her a quack. They're just going to call her a quack more than they ever have because nobody knew who she was before 2 days ago. And with that, let the 2024 American Hunger Games begin. Who are you throwing your support behind? Oh, 10. Number 10. One final point I missed. You didn't miss it, dude. This is a thread. This is a thread. You can edit it. You didn't miss it. Okay. One more thing, and it's big. Nicole has the touch, Dave. She's got the touch. She gets it.
She's got the touch.
And she's got that touch. Like, this guy sounds like a Hollywood producer for Nickelodeon or something. Like, ooh, you got
Right.
that touch, girl. She's young. She's fit. She's beautiful. She's got that touch. She's got that it factor. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Take off your shoes, honey. It says when she talks, you feel it. She's endearing. She connects in a way few are gifted with. She will bring Bobby's plight to the masses. America will hear and America will feel. Serving. It's just like feel bullshit.
Yep.
She's got it, and when she speaks, you'll know she's got it because you'll see what it is. And I spent way more time on RFK than I intended to. Any other thoughts on that, Dave?
Well,
big
just
pick?
like what these guys, I did listen to like an 8-minute, like edited piece that they put out with her the other day. Just okay, let me hear what you're all about. And I was in the car and I gave it 8 minutes, and so little substance. But what they are good at, people like her and Bobby Kennedy and Bernie Sanders, is pointing out, they do it in Idiocracy, right? Like, shit sucks right now. I
Yeah.
know that. Like they are good at pointing out that shit sucks.
Yeah.
And that things are expensive and there's no jobs and
Yep.
that's all very true. And medicine is expensive. And
9/11 was bad. Yeah.
Right. They're very good at pointing those things out. They just don't offer any solutions other than feel good stuff. Look, the only way to tackle that stuff is with somebody young and good looking. That's like that's the solution. That we need a fresh set of eyes on it. You know what I mean? Like
young, fresh money.
Yeah.
That's what we're going with.
Yep.
The more ties to Silicon Valley, the better for us, obviously, because everybody trusts Silicon Valley. Now I do have there's some more. We're gonna move on first of all because that was way more time than RFK deserves, but we're gonna spend even less time on Steven Crowder and his divorce. Dave, have you been following the Steven Crowder saga at all?
Bro, no, I have not even a little bit, but I knew that you were because I knew
Yeah.
he was your boy. I knew you.
He's not my boy. He was
well,
never, I used to watch him at one point. I did fall off. Like I found him entertaining mostly when he had on like Dave Landau as his co-host and Owen Benjamin as his co-host. The two people that have been fired and subsequently complained about his, I don't know, unsavory demeanor off air. But yeah, with his divorce and all that, I'm not gonna spend much time on it. But another one of his old co-hosts, named Jared Monroe, who went by Not Gay Jared on the show. He has been under an NDA for like 6 years, and he recently came out and made a video saying, I can't break my NDA, but I need to raise money for legal fees so that I can break my NDA. And I can't tell you specifics about, like, I can't say specifics about Steven Crowder, my former boss. I would never talk about Steven Crowder. But my former boss, I'm going to speak in code. My former boss did this, and this. And it's like, I don't know. It's just it's like a 15-minute video of him speaking in code and basically just flagrantly breaking his NDA. And it raised some questions. And now they have threatened to sue him. Seems like, well, there's been some emails that have come out of this guy seemingly collaborating with Steven Crowder's ex-wife and working in tandem to start a smear campaign of Steven Crowder, and also working with ex-wife Hillary's father. So the father-in-law, an angry former employee, and Crowder's ex-wife, from what I understand, have been trying to start this smear campaign. And I don't know. I don't really care. If somebody is getting a divorce, that sucks. Sorry. And it's not really anybody else's business until you make it the business of everybody by making it a scandal, which they are doing because it sounds like they are trying to my understanding, the father-in-law was pushing them to get more money than a normal spouse should have to give in the legal proceeding because of Crowder's, his status and everything, and that they can get more. So they're trying to ring him up and screw him over. I don't know. I know that there's two sides to this. Everybody seems to think there's two sides to this at least. I'm of the mindset at this point, like, sure, Crowder's ex-wife and his ex-employees and his ex-stepfather or ex-father-in-law, they might be assholes. But I'm not convinced that Steven Crowder isn't either. So it's just, to me, it's like two assholes seem to have found each other and fell in love and then fell out of love. And now it's only a thing because Steven Crowder has a platform. But it does play into the Candace Owens thing quite a bit, because Candace Owens was part of calling Steven Crowder a bit of an abuser, which I think that she probably jumped to a little quickly at that point too. So the whole conservative circle of firing squads is just ongoing, and I feel like this is all very similar to things that we discussed about 6 months ago. Dave, any thoughts on that ramble so far?
Well, I don't watch that show, but we have talked about it. It does seem like trouble follows this guy, and yeah, I watched about 2 minutes of that 15-minute video, and I was just like, I don't know these people enough to give this enough. I don't care. But
I trust
I'll
Dave
say this:
Landau and Owen Benjamin more than I trust Steven Crowder, frankly.
well, that's what I was going to bring up. Is that Owen Benjamin, even though he's a little crazy sometimes, has been fucking. He's a cool human being, and I like some of his content. I like going to check out his opinions on some shit. Sure. And he'll tell you that Steven Crowder is a piece of shit, and he worked with him. So
yeah, he got fired by him too. So him and Dave Landau did. So it's like I don't know how many like personalities you can have come and then just fall off and then be pissed at you, and have it not at some point the common denominator of why this isn't working falls on you. So
bro,
I don't know.
Very P. Diddy. You got to live an honest life. You know what I mean? You can't slap NDAs and be surrounded by yes men all the time and just expect that you can just like control people. Yeah. You have to people have to want to be around you and want to work with you and want to, serve the cause. And if you don't, you could be successful, and you could even become the number one guy like him and start a mug club and all that shit. But inevitably, your world will crumble around you like it is right now for him. Yeah. Very sad.
Very sad. I know. I don't know about any of it. Like, it would be great if they did keep it out of the public eye, but angry ex-wives will do angry ex-wife things. And I mean, who's to say that they're not both genuinely good humans who were disagreeing with each other and just can't come to an agreement on something? It's possible. Occam's razor to me seems more like quite the opposite, and they're both shitbag people who are probably greedy folk trying to. I don't know. There's also a rumor that both of them are trying for full custody. Both of them are. I could be wrong about that, but if that is true, that certainly raises the stakes. And I hold no assholery against anyone who has anybody trying to take their children away from them. So, I mean, some assholery, like don't go break down people's doors and shit and steal your kid. I don't know.
But you're on it though, because either they are both good people or they're both shitty people. Odds are they're both shitty people because they're both willing to take their kids away from the other one. So
yeah, if that's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, gross. We might have to jump back to Steve a time or two just to cleanse our palate throughout this. Let's all take a breath.
Hey, I'm checking in. Tell me, what's going on?
Have you or a loved one been injured by some fuck nuggets, reckless driving, a tumble at your shitty job, or some other form of dumb shit outside of your control? Well, fear not, because today's episode is sponsored by a lawyer. Lone Star Injury Attorneys is an award-winning personal injury law firm that achieves maximum results for its injured clients. Max the Axe is not just a lawyer, but a hardcore Mises Caucus libertarian and also a big supporter of this show and all of our bullshit. Max is the best personal injury lawyer in Texas, but don't judge him by his occupation or location. Max is an avid defender of liberty liberty, and justice in whatever state you got fucked in. If you've been injured and your ass needs saving, go with the pros at Lone Star Injury Attorneys. Visit LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com or Google Max the Axe. Consultations are free and you don't pay a single dime unless you win. Once again, go to LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com and get your ass covered. Thank you. Thank you. We are back and ready to get even less comfortable. Before we get into the now of Candace Owens, we have to go back and explore the history of Candace Owens. And we're going to go down a lot of rabbit trails today and just try and figure out what's going on here. Before we do, Dave, have you dug deeply, all that deeply into the Candace Owens story?
No, I wouldn't say deeply.
Okay. Well, then we'll go on this adventure together. So come with me, won't you? As we go back to, this is November 17th of last year, just only months ago. Jeremy Boring. This was when Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro were having a bit of a spat on the twits. Jeremy Boring, about the Israel stuff. Jeremy Boring says, I am currently on a leave of absence from my executive duties at Real Daily Wire while overseas producing something. I don't know what that is. In my current capacity, I cannot fire Candace Owens. That's something Ben and I have in common, since he is also not an executive in the company and cannot hire or fire people. But even if we could, we would not fire Candace because of another thing we have in common, a desire not to regulate the speech of our hosts. Even when we disagree with them, Candace is paid to give her opinion, not mine or Ben's, unless those opinions run afoul of the law or she violates the terms of her contract in some way. Her job is secure, and she is welcome at the Daily Wire. That is very brave and bold of them to say. Good job, Mr. Boring. That is very bold. Any thoughts on that, Dave? That brave
You
stance
ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie.
That brave stance from Daily Wire's Jeremy Boring. Now, fast forward, March 22nd, from Jeremy Boring. Daily Wire and Candace Owens have ended their relationship. Yay! All right. So basically they said,
Shut up, silly woman.
Now, why could this be, Dave? Why could this possibly be? Many have speculated, and I have some theories.
Is it because Christ is king?
Oh God, you're not allowed to say that.
I can't do that. Yeah.
No.
I think hashtag Christ is king.
Okay, that's fine. That's just
okay. Cool.
It's just a Nazi movement instead of a Nazi slogan. Now, all the boomers are going to be so confused about what we're talking about. We'll get there. Bear with us here. Candace Owens confirmed the rumors are true. I am finally free. If you would like to support my work, you can do so at my website, where you will be directed to my locals page. Which locals? It's funny because Candace Owens and what's his name? What's the one Jew dude from formerly of the Young Turks?
Oh yeah, he sucks now.
But yeah, he got real lame, real gay. I can't even say the gay guy.
Super.
What's his name?
God damn it!
Chats.
In the chat.
What's
Yeah,
the gay dude. I used to listen to him a lot. Gay dude.
Yeah, I unfollowed.
Jew, former
DeSantis guy.
Yep. We remember everything about him.
Oh my God. This is awful. What is his fucking
That's
name?
how irrelevant he made himself as soon as Israel started. We can't even remember his fucking name. I'm pretty sure I'm still subscribed to him on YouTube, and I don't even remember his name. Anyway.
Oh, wow. It'll come to us. Maybe.
Wow. Is there any chat today? Chat.
Dave Rubin. Somebody
Dave
said
Rubin,
it.
Thank you.
Hannah,
Okay.
thanks. Dave, the most boring Rubin. Yeah, he does suck.
I mean, he's the most boring Dave at the very least, but
yeah.
Yeah, I used to like him. He got real Weasley about the Israel stuff. Like, I don't even care if you disagree on the Israel stuff. It was just I don't know.
People like a defector, dude. We should at some point defect from something, because he was like, "Look, I was one of those, but now I'm one of you." That's how he got his
go
whole...
hardcore lib. Like that's the only way to make money in this thing.
Let's wait till Pride Month and just fucking go balls deep into Pride Month, bro.
Oh. So I brought up world-renowned nameless Dave Rubin because Locals is the company that Dave Rubin started, to facilitate freedom of speech, people who were getting canceled on platforms back in 2016, 2020, and those times. He started this platform, and then he and Candace had a bit of a falling out. He talked about it recently on his show, and he said that he has no problem with her joining his platform. He has no bad blood or whatever, yada yada. So I just think it's interesting that she's utilizing his platform. I wonder if there was any thought that went into that, because apparently he didn't know that she was going to after leaving the Daily Wire, or after getting fired from the Daily Wire. But the plot thickens. Now, Ben Shapiro came out on Piers Morgan to share some of his thoughts, because as I mentioned, which I should probably go back and find, the tweets, the original tweets, I think I have here. So there we go. This was the original spat. We don't need to spend a lot of time on this, because I believe we talked about it already, but Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens had a spat back and forth about Israel, and he said, Candace, if you feel that taking money away from the Daily Wire somehow comes between you and God, by all means quit. And she said, you are utterly out of line for suggesting that. I cannot quote biblical script. You are utterly out of line for suggesting that I cannot quote biblical scripture. The Bible is not about you. Okay, whatever. That happened, and then she got fired. Some other things happened, too, that we're going to get to. Some other clues as to possibly why she might have gotten fired. But before we get to the clues, let's hear what Ben Shapiro had to say on Piers Morgan about the
both sides, a lot of angry disagreements. You and your company have been at the center of a very high-profile one at the moment with Candace Owens, who's now left Daily Wire. Was she fired, or did she leave of her own volition?
I'm not going to speak to this topic, Piers.
At all?
At all.
You can't give me any insight into why she departed?
No hints, no nothing. I'm not going to speak to this.
Can I ask why?
I mean, you can ask.
No, I'm not. Can I ask why you don't want to say anything?
Again, you can ask.
What a little bitch.
I mean, I'm only curious because I know what a staunch defender of free speech you are. And it would surprise me if it had been someone's opinions that would make you want to part company with them, however contentious.
I mean, suffice it to say, the only thing I will say is what I've said all along with regard to Candace
let me cut you off. Let me say this. I wasn't going to say anything, but let me just cut you off. Yeah. What a little asshole this guy is. I hate him.
I'm not going to say anything until you push me a little bit. Then I'm going to talk. But then I'm going to go back to non-talking, because that's the noble thing to do.
Other hosts, I am not in hiring and firing position with the Daily Wire. I'm a co-founder of the Daily Wire. I'm a co-owner of the Daily Wire. I'm not actually in management. Jeremy Boring and Caleb Robinson are in management positions with regard to Candace or anyone else. And as far as the free speech situation, what I will say is that no company has the obligation to literally pay anyone. The Daily Wire is a publisher. It is not a platform. I've never called for Candace or anyone else, for that matter, to be banned from YouTube, to be banned from X, to be banned from any platform. That's a different story, obviously, when it comes to any publisher. Any publisher gets to make decisions about what it wishes to purvey and not.
I mean, I'm just not going to labour this, but one more point I would make is it's been reported extensively that the reason for her departure was because her comments have been perceived by people at the Daily Wire as anti-Semitic.
Again, I'm not going to comment on this, Piers.
God damn. Now, it's just very Weasley. And we're going to see several Weasley people today. And if they just happen to be Jewish, that's not my fault. It's not my fault there's a stereotype. It's not my fault that you are Jewish and you're also Weasley. But this is Weasley to me.
I bet you,
I'm not going to comment on that.
Piers Morgan is probably a Zionist, but they're disagreeing here, which I have to say is fascinating. Every time there's like, a seismic event that happens, you see these like kind of shifts in the tectonic plates of politics. Like, here's two guys from the regime you'd think should be on the same page, but they're a little, at least, it's non-combative, but they're disagreeing at least.
I mean, this one could just be Ben Shapiro being like, I've got a lawsuit probably on my hands and I can't get into it right now. But not wanting to say that, yeah, we had to really go out of our way to make this happen, and we're not thrilled about it either, and we need to keep our mouth shut. So I get it if he needs to keep his mouth shut for legal reasons, but that doesn't.
You think they would have covered that before the show, though? Hey, man, I can't talk about this. But
yeah, it's like in the description of the Piers Morgan episode, I believe, is like, gets into like Donald Trump's recent quotes on Israel and Candace Owens firing, and this, of course, they have to say that. I don't know if they get notes in advance on what all they're going to talk about, but he had to have known that this would come up, and one would assume that there was a pre-conversation as to what was going to be discussed, but I don't know. So there's that. That's Ben Shapiro's response. Nothing. Keeping his mouth shut. Good boy. Good boy. Now, we do need to flash back to this former. Well, this is the other Daily Wire guys. So for people that aren't familiar, like I guess we probably should have laid a little bit of groundwork. The Daily Wire is the umbrella organization that has these different conservative pundits like Matt Walsh, Andrew Klavan, Michael Knowles, Ben Shapiro, and Candace Owens formerly. Now, this clip is from one of their round table discussion type things that they do while smoking cigars and being all chill and laid back, just having a good old boy chat, as conservative boys do. And Matt Walsh, I haven't heard much from Matt Walsh on this topic as of the Candace Owens firing, even much on Israel. He seems to not have that strong of an opinion on it. Back in the day, though, he said some things that, well, let's just see.
But at the same time, I think one thing, the people that you're talking about, one thing that annoys them is when they see, I don't remember who tweeted, someone tweeted something like, if you're an American patriot, it means you're pro-Israel or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. This idea that like it is your patriotic duty to have this particular feeling about another country, no matter what the other country is. I don't care what country it is. So that goes too far on that side of it. And I think they're kind of reacting. It's kind of what you're saying.
Yep.
They're reacting to that.
I do think I think that there is something patriotic about supporting our allies, because we form alliances because it's in our national interest to form alliances. And having formed those alliances, and if we're all operating in a kind of good faith where those alliances are concerned, then there is a kind of patriotic.
Yeah, but you don't have a you don't have a patriotic you do not have a patriotic duty to support any country that is not your own.
Well, so I will say that
Shut up,
I think
peasant.
that what that statement is missing is the phrase at the end, right now. Okay, so I don't think that you have a patriotic duty to eternally support any other country, because circumstances change. The country, I mean, how many times have we seen alliances change and people end up on the other side of those alliances? But the idea that in a conflict between a democratic ally and an actual terror group, that it doesn't connect to any sort of, we're not talking about nationalism now, which is just attachment to country. We're talking about patriotism, which goes to underlying principle, that you have no duty at all to support a fellow democracy that is an ally in its own battle for survival. That seems to me to raise some patriotism principles, in the same way that would raise patriotism principles to say that if Hitler were about to overrun Britain, people who are saying, well, you know what, it doesn't implicate the United States at all, or patriotism at all, to watch Hitler overrun Britain.
Patriotism. So Matt Walsh's argument is basically just, if, like, to be a patriot does not mean you have to support any country other than your country. And Jeremy Boring and Ben Shapiro are very quick to cut him off and insist that, well, that's not always the case, because even if you support our country and our country supports another country, if you don't support that country, then you don't support our country supporting that country, then you don't support our country, basically. It seems to be the argument. Dave, got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, dude, I think he's one of two Christians on that network. So he's probably next, Matt Walsh.
Well, I mean, the network is basically, its perception is that it's this conservative Christian whatever platform. Andrew Klavan is a converted Jew to Christianity. We'll get to him in a bit. Matt Walsh is Christian. Michael Knowles is Catholic. Ben Shapiro is Jewish, and Jeremy Boring, I believe, is some level of Christian. So they're all Christian except for Ben Shapiro, to my knowledge. And Candace Owens was allegedly Christian too.
I don't know, man. I think that this whole network is so gassed up. And for anybody in the chat, when you have time, go to Ben Shapiro's Twitter page, go up to the search bar, type Ron Paul in Ben Shapiro's search bar on his Twitter page, and you will find at least a dozen tweets of him saying just some fucked up shit about, the greatest living American. So fuck Ben Shapiro and that whole operation. But dude, I don't think forget religion for a second, because I think that they play people on all sides on that.
Yeah.
But I just think that this organization, much like Reason magazine, uncovered recently by our pal Jeremy Kaufman, is a front organization. It is completely funded by a couple small interests, and they make, I mean, dude, their influence is no joke. They have, between all of their, Daily Wire on all the platforms, and then all their influencers, and then, all the shows, I think they reach way more than anybody. And our biggest guys, like, pale in comparison. They reach everybody. So I err on the side of they are a regime job, just like the other ones. Special interests. Let's just say, we're already going pretty deep on this show, so let's just say special interests control the Daily Wire. They control Reason magazine. Few things are not controlled by special interests, but I don't think that the people who control that aren't probably
Is it
religious.
special interest, or is it just Ben Shapiro? Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring are big, hardcore Israel fans, and Candace Owens was the only one willing to be moderately anti-Israel, and they're like, well, fuck off then.
I think that Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire's function is to siphon off any kind of conservative libertarian energy that's grassroots and natural and organic, and bring it into this artificial, created, multi-million-dollar Con Inc. complex that is so slick packaged. Everybody's got the $100,000 studios. Where is all this coming from? I think that there's other people that do bigger numbers that would do if they weren't so inflated with $1 million advertising campaigns just for Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
That guy is not beloved amongst conservatives. I question the roots of the Daily Wire and what their true motives are.
Well, we're going to get into some of what some are speculating could be the motives, at least behind their firing of their only non-white male speaker. Now, before we get into some of these things, I will say that I have no problem with Jewish people. I have a problem with shitty people. Shitty people, whether it's one shitty person, whether it's a bunch of shitty people working together, whether they're Christians, Muslims, or Jews, if they're shitty, I have a problem with that. That's my stance. I don't condone violence, and whether it's violence in, I don't know, shooting up mosques, or I'm getting real specific.
Do that. Don't do that. Yeah.
Holocaust,
you know what the Bible says about doing that? Don't.
Yeah, it was bad. Now, I don't know if Candace Owens was brave enough to admit all those statements before she got into the hardcore anti-Semitism that she did, but there is, allegedly, according to multiple rabbis, a whole lot of anti-Semitism in Candace Owens, which is ironic because Candace Owens was like she was the black voice in conservatism that was speaking out against the BLM riots and shit, because she was like, hey, this doesn't work, and this is mob mentality that doesn't work, and this is a bunch of people that are my people that are ganging up to do bad shit. I don't approve of that.
Real quick.
And she was...
I'm sorry to interrupt you. It reminds me of Dave Rubin, how he popped off. Like, right. Look, I'm one of those people.
I'm not one of those gays.
But I'm not one of those people. She came out with...
too.
Yeah. I mean, she was a black person speaking against Black Lives Matter and all the shit that was going on then. And she made a career off that. Good for you.
Yeah. And now she's speaking out against, from her perspective, other people that seem to be collaborating against her. They happen to be Jewish. I don't know if that plays into it at all, but there's Rabbi Shmuley, who has apparently been harassing her for like years. Him and his daughter have been harassing Candace Owens for years, calling her an anti-Semite and all these things, and they've had a lot of back and forths. There's this other Rabbi Barclay, who wrote up articles about Candace Owens calling her an anti-Semite and making a whole lot of accusations. And she had him on the show. This is her second to last episode. So I didn't watch Candace Owens until she got fired. I didn't care. And then she got fired, and I was like, well, let's go see why she got fired. And it's like one episode back, I'm like, holy shit. 2 episodes back, holy shit. And then it's like, well, okay. But
subscribed.
Actually, I did subscribe to her page the day she got fired. And then I saw her statement that she has another page that's going to be where she will upload, because obviously the Daily Wire still owns that one. So I unsubscribed to that one and subscribed to her new one because I want to see where this goes. Now, the reason why this episode is called Candace Owens Did Not Kanye Herself is because they're friends, but this is in no way comparative to the Kanye thing. This is Candace Owens saying, hey, that seems strange and that seems strange. She did not go on Alex Jones and say what Alex did not go on Alex Jones and say what Kanye said, which I'm not even going to say because there's no reason to have that audio clip of me saying that out there. You could probably find it. I've probably said it, but there's only as a quotation though. So this is 2 episodes back. She had this rabbi on, this rabbi journalist who was the most condescending dick. Just the entire fucking time. Just, Candace, you need to calm down. Candace, like, really bad. And just, he made the accusation. I've watched this pretty intently. So I could go through the entire episode, but I don't think anybody would find that interesting but me. And that would put me on the level of, like, Nick Fuentes or something. Like, oh, black woman talks to Jew man. Like, let's go. It was entertaining because these are 2 obviously very differing opinions. I do feel like Candace Owens was much more honest in this entire exchange, and the rabbi was just, he was very weaselly, unfortunately. I didn't make the stereotype. I don't push the stereotype, but if you are, I'm sorry, that's on you. Now, we just got a couple clips of her interviewing Rabbi Barclay here.
Candace.
This is right off the bat. Candace, stop. You're being ridiculous.
Like disciplinary. Yeah, sure.
It like that was his demeanor the entire time. I wish we could have come to an agreement here, but you refuse. Candace, what is wrong with you?
If he attacked you personally, if he said you were a black fill in the blank, then he should be reprimanded that, but it doesn't justify what you did. You don't know what a rabbi does. You don't know our theology. How dare you call him an unholy rabbi? How dare you go into the misogynistic, the anti-Semitic trope of his...
I like how the slip of the tongue, he went to misogynistic because, sometimes you got to get your victim cards figured out before you open your mouth. Yeah. This guy played the victim the entire time, and yeah, just... misogynist. Nope, not race. No, anti-Semitic. That's what we're going with. That's what you did. Anti-Semitic.
The anti-Semitic trope of his hag daughter, something used throughout the late 18th and early through the early 20th century.
So, for clarification, Rabbi Shmuley, this rabbi who went on like the Howard Stern show back in the day, and he's basically just like Hollywood rabbi, hanging out, being whatever. Flamboyant asshole, shock jock basically of rabbis, because that's what we need. The guy who's been attacking her, Candace Owens, exposed that him and his daughter host like a sex podcast together, and they sell a line of sex toys together, butt plugs and lube and all sorts of things. And so that's the reference here. Candace Owens posted that Rabbi Shmuley was an unholy rabbi and his daughter was a hag. And this is very offensive to Jewishness, as we're going to hear.
How could you not be aware of 17th century Jewish lingo?
How could you not be familiar with the folklore of the witches?
Something used throughout the late 18th and early through the early 20th century.
Sorry. Hag is now anti-Semitic?
So that is a term of his hag daughter that goes back into the witches of...
Like, just the look on his face when he responds to her there it's such feigned, like, outrage. It's like, what? You don't know about the witches from the early 17th century and in modern... I don't fucking know.
Say hag again, bitch.
That is our word. It is our word, Negro. Sorry. Too far.
So that is a term of his hag daughter that goes back into the witches of Eastern Europe. Why did you?
How many times throughout this conversation do you think the rabbi had to refrain from dropping an N-word? Just curious.
He wants to, real bad.
You have to call her a hag daughter.
Just
Tell
to
me
be
that.
clear, because she's a witch. I think she's a witch. That's not because she's
All right,
Jewish.
stop right there.
I would call
Wait,
someone
I
a
wanna
hag
try
of
and
any
get-
color. I think she's a witch. What they have done over the last 2 years. I believe his daughter is a hag. I said that because that's what I believe. You may disagree
Okay,
with me
hold
on
on a
that,
second.
but to say
I'm
that that's
accepting that.
anti-Semitic is ridiculous. I would call any person a hag.
Candace.
I'm trying to be
I'm
patient
gonna-
with you.
I've had it about up to here with your attitude, Candace. I
Listen,
need you
bro.
to calm down.
This is fantastic, actually. And honestly, I know that no like liberal lefty in 2024 that's whatever 20 years old will believe this. But let me assure you, as the OG in the room, you have reached equality. More so, here is this beautiful Nubian princess, fucking in the power suit, straight faced,
No conservatism.
of owning this white guy. Like, look, I don't like the terms white and black. It just like boils down all culture into just, just nothingness. But if we're going to use those terms, sir, you're a fucking white guy and she is a black woman and you're trying to like be oppressed around her. Like, stop being such a fucking bitch.
Yeah, and frankly, if you watch this, I mean, that the entire time, it's just like, bro, I don't care what your faith or what your nationality, stop being a fucking bitch. Like, just the amount of victim status that this man displays is, it's impressive, really.
Be very clear without trying to be insulting. So please forgive me if it comes off wrong. Okay, it's not meant to.
No, it's fine. You can insult me.
Such a dick.
I don't want to.
I've dealt with 2 years of a rabbi insulting me, so I'm totally cool with
Candace,
this. Yeah.
I have no desire to insult anybody. Okay? But do you understand, are you familiar with the history of the Grimm fairy tales and the folk tales of Eastern Europe?
I know that we
She's
can,
like,
that we
"Oh,
can go
fuck.
back and
Let's
we can
go."
also say
No.
that-
I'm asking a specific question. That the witch archetype
Hansel and Gretel,
of
bitch.
those
Do you
fairy
know
tales.
Hansel and Gretel? Do you fucking know that story?
Are you familiar with the Jewish tale of Hansel and Gretel? Yes. Pretty sure that's German, but I don't know.
Were specifically modeled and called the Jews, that the Jews of that part of the world were called hags and witches specifically because they didn't eat the same food, they had different practices, and they were excluded that way.
What she should do is stop him and be like, stop. Do you think that I know that? Do you really think that I do? And that I'm using that as a dog whistle to all of my Nazi followers who also know that very obscure reference that you're making to the definition of hag and its origins? Do you think that, really? Or are you the conspiracy theorist here?
Amazing.
Part of the bloodline.
So you are saying that we can
into by calling a rabbi's daughter or a witch, a hag daughter. You have tapped into an anti-Semitic trope that goes back hundreds of years, whether you mean to or not.
I do like that she's just like, yeah, I called her a witch because she is one. I called her a hag because she's a witch. He's like, well, witch means Jew. Well, I don't think you're making the point you're going for, bud. Because,
Right.
yeah.
18th century trope. You're not, being sensitive to that. Oh, again, sir, you're an old
What are the
white
odds?
man.
What are the odds that this episode remains on YouTube? I feel like we've been pushing it
really
for
good.
a long time. Really?
Really good. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard
there's
to
been
know with the
no hateful
pro-Palestine
content.
stuff. Like, the pro-Palestine stuff coming out of the left really fucks with their shit. Because everybody was a Nazi and an anti-Semite before. Like, everybody who was left of Bernie Sanders was a Nazi. And then it's like the Palestine shit kicked off. And now you've got all these lefties, the hardcore lefties that are saying free Palestine. And I don't
That's
know
what we
that
need to do.
the establishment knows what to do with that.
We need to make it clear that we're not hating on Israel. We're standing up for Palestinian brotherhood, and then we're in the clear, bro. Everything should be cream cheese after that.
I am, I want,
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it wouldn't hurt you to mention it once in a while.
Owens, I know that this is problematic in today's, landscape. I don't want dead babies, whether they're Jews or Muslims. Don't like the dead babies. In the womb or out of the womb, don't like the dead babies. On the battlefield or off the battlefield, don't like dead babies. Don't like them. I know that's
return the hostages.
Anti-Semitic.
All you got to do is return those hostages. That's all you got to do. You'll be all right.
Okay, so let me see.
I laugh because it's so painful.
It is quite painful. We're going to watch some more painful. Speaking of painful, that transitions us nicely into the next clip of Rabbi Barclay versus Candace Owens. Let's watch. I'm clicking the wrong thing. I told you.
If this is holy, like, selling butt plugs with your daughter, I don't know. Okay, maybe you're right. I think it's gross. Right, I think it's disgusting. And I do not, it's not the definition of holy in the Christian faith, is what I would say. It's weird to me. Okay. It's very, and this could be a difference in our religions, but by the way, your religion does not trump my religion. So I think that you should respect the fact when I say something is unholy.
Well, and if this seems like she's being hostile, this is like 45 minutes into this discussion at least, and he's been saying that she's anti-Semitic the entire time, and you can't call him an unholy rabbi because you don't know what rabbis do. You don't know what their job is, so you can't call him that. It's like what she's saying now is, from my perspective as a Christian, this is unholy, and you don't get to tell me that it's holy just because it's holy in your tradition. It's not holy to me, and my opinion matters as well, is her point. Don't mean to mansplain for the nice black lady. Let's continue.
I am referring to my religion. His relationship between him and his daughter is very creepy to me. The sex podcast is very creepy to me. The idea of sitting down and talking to your father about, topics of sex in any regard is creepy to me. Him promoting butt plugs that are sold by his daughter is creepy to me. I have a right to say that I find this to be utterly unholy, and that any faith leader, at least in the Christian community, would agree that all of this is giving us very weird vibes between the father and daughter relationship. I can say that all I want. And I do think that part of it, and this is where we get to the topic of where people perceive this and they say, is this a form of Jew supremacy? To say, suspend your Christianity because my Judaism matters more, is the feeling that I get when you say, you don't get to say it's an unholy rabbi. Pornography, pornography is unholy in my view. You might disagree with that. Candace. It is unholy to Christians. The topic of pornography, peddling pornography, selling butt plugs, the commercialization of pornography is unholy. And I'm going to continue to call him unholy because that is what I deem him to be. And I say that as a Christian.
Okay. So there's that. And I also did see, after this conversation after she got canceled, some people were pulling up an old clip of Candace Owens saying, I'm not a Christian, but these Christian people that I like just very in passing, that's not my cross to bear right now. They're like, see, she's a total grifter because 10 years ago she said, I'm like, it's not my hill to die on the Israel Christian whatever debate or anything. It's like, okay, maybe
now it is.
Just maybe y'all pushed her in that direction. Just maybe.
Yeah. Who radicalized you? Rabbi Shmuley.
Yeah. Well, Rabbi Barclay, Rabbi Shmuley. Who knows? All right. One more clip of Rabbi Barclay. I don't remember what it is, but we're going to move on soon. It's just like this was what led up to her separation. Now, this is on Ben Shapiro's network. Ben Shapiro, who we're going to get into some of his other cohorts and some of their opinions on this as well, and whose side they have taken on this matter. I think right after this.
Would not condemn these horrific events.
You don't condemn them uniquely evil. You put them in pari passu relationship.
So you're saying that even though I did, so now you're admitting that I did condemn Hamas, even though she refused to condemn Hamas.
What condemnation is? Is this where you really want to go? Is have an English discussion?
No. You wrote she refused to condemn Hamas. These are your words.
Because when you put that, at the moment you say that they have a moral equivalency with anything else, that's not condemnation.
The fucking gaslighting here of like, you did condemn Hamas, but you didn't uniquely condemn them as purely evil, so therefore you made an whatever. You equaled the suffering and of the Palestinian people to the suffering of the Israeli people. Like the weaseliness of just the gaslighting and all of this, and we'll see it in Rabbi Shmuley in a little bit as well. But like, you said a thing, yes, but I said you didn't say a thing, and you're saying that you did. I'm saying yes, and he acts so frustrated about it, like she's the stupid one. Oh, how are you not getting this? But you didn't uniquely condemn them. Candace, what is wrong with you, Candace? Like, you're wrong, dude. You're wrong. And can you see me right now? Because my
I can see
screen
you.
just went to black. Okay. We're good. All right, let's continue.
No matter
I didn't.
what
I said it's sad when an innocent.
It's not condemnation, and
Is
it's
it?
not.
I'll just ask you a question.
I'm
Is
sorry,
it sad?
Candace.
Is it
It's not
sad?
extreme.
Sure.
Sit there and do that.
I don't want to cut each other off, okay? Because clearly what we are having here is just a disagreement. There's no reason to get angry.
She should be like,
Do you
Rabbi,
think- do you-
Rabbi,
Do you
Rabbi.
think it is sad when an innocent Palestinian child dies?
Candace, I cry every day, and it's not just for Israel. And this is one of the things you clearly do not understand.
You don't
the
get
same
it.
way most don't.
The
who are
feigned
anti-Semites don't get it.
outrage.
I cry for what's going on in Israel. I cry just as much for what we are forced to do.
I'm really glad. I'm really glad we didn't skip over this clip. Have you heard this clip, Dave?
Yes.
Okay. He's not just pained by what's going on in Palestine. This is the most remarkable quote, and he's quoting somebody else when he says it, but yeah.
I cry just as much for what we are forced to do.
Oh.
Golda Meir had a great quote. She said that one day we may be able to forgive them for killing Israeli children. We will never be able to forgive them for making us kill their children.
Oh my God.
Let's just sit with that for a second.
You gotta.
You want to talk about gaslighting?
Bro.
We will forgive you for killing our children. We will never forgive you for you making us kill your children. And that's not just a point that one person made. He's quoting, I don't remember who he said it was, but some Israeli leader, that we are killing your children and we will never forgive you for it.
Yo, I know we were talking about Twitter a little bit ago. I know it's not a totally free speech platform and not everybody's on it, but you should get on Twitter because, you can see real I know you're not seeing it on Facebook and you're not catching it, and, maybe on TikTok, but you guys aren't there either. But you got to see this footage if you haven't. For 6 months, man. That's about, I think a little bit shy of 6 months. Just under 35,000 people murdered. So that's what, like, I hate that. I mean, it is the 9/11 recipe, right? Like, oh, some group of awful people did an awful thing to us once in one instance. So that is the reason that we get to, I mean, dude, every single day, a new town is destroyed. And they have like you said, the gaslighting, the audacity to say like, well, they were given 48 hours notice. You know what I mean? To like, whatever, get out or something, as if that's some kind of compassion. Like, oh man.
So if the
it's
Hamas
just
terrorists had
ultimate-
warned everybody that we're going to pillage and rape terrible things, we're going to do them, but we gave you a warning. So if you didn't see the flyer, it's on you.
Unbelievable, dude. Yeah. And we'll forgive you for killing all your babies. I mean, this is ultimate evil.
Now
dude.
imagine if
This is-
imagine Hamas, I don't know, some Hamas leader came out and said, we will forgive you for bombing Gaza, but we will never forgive you from making us rape your children at that rave. We will never forgive you for that because you pushed us to that. Like, I'm not saying that that's the case. I think that what Hamas did was terrible, obviously, but they certainly have grievances and issues with the Israeli people, and they took it out in atrocious ways, absolutely. But imagine like that level of reasoning. Like, well, let's say there was one of the rapists, one of the paraglider rapists, that raped and killed somebody, and his wife was killed by an Israeli bomber, whatever, I don't know. If he came out and said, well, I forgive you for killing my wife, but I will never forgive you for making me rape and kill that person. Like, that's the level of rationale that we're working with here.
Yeah. And still with
and
the
the
talk
victimhood status
about,
too. Holy shit.
yeah. And they still, you know, like the NPCs that they are, this is, I'm sure it comes from the top and all the way down to all the little parrots, is, oh, all this would stop if you just free the hostages. But imagine, dude, it's like, imagine if you actually cared about finding a small group of hostages. Like if you know, if in your neighborhood, you knew that there were some hostages in this neighborhood and you just went around to every house and blew one up, one at a time. Any hostages in there? No? Okay, next one. Just level
we
the
tried.
next one.
Sorry.
Anybody? Okay, gave it our all. This could
Sorry,
stop
collateral
as
damage.
soon as you. Yeah, right. This will be a lot easier if you just lie back.
Yeah. Now more to clues as to why she might have been fired from the Daily Wire. Just subtle clues. Her very last episode was titled, "Why Does Everyone Think I Am Going to Be Killed?" And
based.
This is the follow-up to...
You know why.
Like, basically what her question is why am I being constantly harassed? Why is it this one and only topic that I cannot address? Why do people keep warning me that if I keep addressing this topic, bad things will happen to me? Why? At the end of the episode, she says, I will see you tomorrow. I don't think that she believed that she would. I think that was her way of, I don't know, plausible deniability or something. But this entire episode felt like I'm going to get canceled and I'm going to go out swinging. And regardless of your stance on any of this, I think it's worth a listen because she's basically just saying, like, it doesn't, like, I don't care, like, it's not anti-Semitic to be like, there's a group of people that keep making my life suck and they all end in a steen. I don't like, she did not Kanye herself. She did not go out and be like flagrantly anti-Semitic. She was opposed to Israel bombing the shit out of Gaza, and that is basically what all this seems to be.
Yeah. Did she give a nice disclaimer like you did earlier? How she doesn't condone violence?
No, that's why she got fired. She should have said that from the top. She should have said Holocaust bad, Jew good, and then she would have been fine. And that's how you know that they're not in control of anything. And I mean that, like, half joking, like with the Kanye thing. It's kind of like David Koresh, one of the better Davids among us, in Waco, where he's like, someday the government is going to rain down hellfire upon us and we will be raptured or whatever. I don't know exactly what he was telling him, but he was like, something's going to happen. There's going to be a war. It's going to be the end of times. And he got everybody to believe that it was going to be the end of times. And then it happened. And then Kanye West came out and said, if you say certain things, certain people seem to shut you down. And then he got shut down everywhere. Like, got just financially flattened. Yes, he did bounce back because he's Kanye fucking West. But and I don't agree with everything Kanye said. And of course that plays somewhat into the Candace Owens thing because they both wore the White Lives Matter, which was the very controversial statement of 10 years ago or 5 years ago. I don't know. But yeah, it's like, if you don't, stereotypes exist for a reason. I'm not an anti-Semite. I have no problem with a Jewish person or Jewish people or the Jewish faith or whatever. I mean, I have some questions about some of your doctrines and some of your historical writings. I have plenty of questions for Christians on my own people's historical doctrines and writings, things that I find to be a little ridiculous. Not gonna lie. Now, when you play the victim constantly and you say that everybody's attacking you constantly while attacking people, and then you say it's your fault that I killed your kids, and you say it's Kanye's fault that we canceled him because he said something that we don't like. all I'm saying is, can you see how certain people come to these things? You're not helping the cause and we haven't even gotten to Rabbi fucking Shmuley yet. You're not helping the cause for anything if this is how you conduct business. If this guy like this, if we're just looking at this as a white male journalist going on Black Woman Network and talking to her about a disagreement, and he's saying you're a piece of shit, and she's saying no, I'm not, and you're mischaracterizing me. She played multiple clips, like things that he said that she said. She played multiple clips, and that flagrantly disproved what he wrote about her in his hit pieces on her. And after playing the clips, he just doubles down and does this squirrely fucking I don't know, gaslighting Weasley bullshit of, well, yeah, you said it, but you didn't say it my way. And he makes the argument, I don't have the clip pulled, but he makes the literal argument that you're anti-Semitic and you're not allowed to say that you're not, because you're not like trained in the school of Judaism, and you're not a rabbi. You don't know what the rabbi's job is. It's wrong of you to say that Rabbi Shmuley isn't holy with his butt plugs. You're not allowed to have an opinion on this, and you are anti-Semitic, and also the definition of anti-Semitism morphs and changes daily. Like, it's such leftist tactics. It's such the same shit that we saw in the Black Lives Matter movement, where it's like, you're a racist. No, I'm not. I like all people. Yeah, but you don't like all people my way, so you're a racist. Like, it's just so gross.
Dude, I've seen many groups in my day that are ideologically possessed, but I've never seen anything quite like the Zionist view of things and the way that they defend their worldview.
Yeah. And most of them are not even Jewish.
And by the way, until 10/7, again, talk about a shifting moment. Like, I wasn't really paying attention to this stuff. I would have told you before that. Like, I would have just said, "Oh, Nick Fuentes, never seen anything that guy said, but I've heard he's a racist, so why do I even want to go check that out?" Owen Benjamin, yeah, I heard he's talking about some crazy shit, some anti-Semitic shit. I don't even need to go I don't need that in my life. And then, I'm not saying never embrace
like you. Stop being a dick.
I wish, yeah, that you would stop proving these people right. Like, I don't know. Am I being driven to the extreme, or have I been lied to longer than I thought, and I just didn't understand things the way that they are? But dude, back to the ideological.
I asked some questions long ago, and I got in trouble for it back then too. But go on.
Well, I think that the particular brand of worldview that a lot of these people have is based on multi-generational trauma and trauma-based, programming. So that's part of their identity, at least since, the 40s, if not more. But like lived experience that you could, grandmothers passed on to mothers, passed on to their kids, and, never again kind of, So like, if you live your whole life with a sense of like anxiety and like on the defense and like, we're never a victim again, like you can see it in other groups too, but like the woke stuff, it's fairly new. And so,
especially with like the Daily Wire being all like, facts don't care about your feelings, bro, and all this like identity politics and cancel culture bad, and like the entire shit, their entire brand
exposed
for the last 10 years. And they're like, well, you disagree on this, and the rabbis didn't come in and clean you up, so you got to go. So what it seems like.
Agreed. Pretty, hypocritical. Be consistent.
And I've also noticed a bit of a calm. Like, there's, with the Steven Crowder thing that we barely even touched on, kind of everybody seems to be talking about that. And anytime there's like conservative drama, everybody's talking about it, and they're happy to jump on, I don't want to cause the drama, I don't want to be a part of this, I don't want to perpetuate this, but it gets the clicks, so we're going to do it, is typically what all the conservative pundits do. They seem real quiet on this one for some reason. Not just the Daily Wire people, but even like Timcast. He hasn't said a whole lot. I haven't noticed. I don't think Crowder has said a whole lot.
You know what it is, bro? It's like on one hand, Christ is king, but also money. So
we don't say the thing. I mean, we say the thing. One thing I love about Candace is she really fucked up the entire system, from being the black conservative to being the black conservative getting fired by the white guys because she's anti-Semitic for not wanting Palestinian children to be bombed. Okay, now
it's good enough for me. It's great.
Yeah. Now some of her former co-workers had a couple things to say, not a whole lot. Let's get Michael Knowles' other Daily Wire pundits' opinion first.
Access is sound great. Yeah, this news just broke about, I don't know, an hour or two before the show started this morning. So Candace has parted ways with the Daily Wire. I forget how exactly they phrased it. I think Jeremy announced it on his Twitter and said the Daily Wire and Candace have ended their relationship. So I don't have some grand statement to make about that. I don't think it's my place as a host on this network to make some grand statement about it. You know, because this is a very personal business and a personal company, a particularly personal company, you know the relationships already. You know that I am a close personal friend of Candace and the godfather to her daughter. Her husband, George, is one of my best friends.
The godfather to her daughter and close personal friend, but doesn't have a strong opinion either way on this matter.
You got, in the one hand, it's like you got, the other hand.
And you know that I've been at the Daily Wire for a very long time, since the very early days. You know, Jeremy Boring is one of my best friends. Even Ben, I'm willing to admit in a moment of candor, is a longtime friend of mine. As our
well-known Jew, Ben, even him, he's playing cheeky. Like, oh, even Ben, he's a good guy. Yeah, I guess even him. It's like, now, do you have any thoughts on the Israel-Palestine war, though? Because that's really the issue here. But, like, yeah, I'm friends with somebody who likes genocide, and because it suits his brand, and I'm friends with somebody who doesn't like genocide and is willing to burn her career down to speak out against it. I'm friends with them both, and it's not really my place to, like, get too deep into the weeds on that. That'd be ridiculous.
Caleb and all the other people around.
Did you say something?
No, sorry.
Okay.
So, you know, always unfortunate when people go their separate ways, and that's life, I suppose. But that's really all I have to say about it. You know, I don't.
That's it.
If you were hoping for some grand, epic speech on the future of media and the industry, I don't really have that. And if you were looking for juicy gossip and tea spilling, not only would I be unwilling to divulge any of that, but I don't really have any to give you. That's basically my view on it. And someone.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, this is why no one will remember your name, motherfucker, because you just talk about shit that gets, as you said, dude, gets clicks, pisses off people. Let's own the libs or whatever you guys are peddling this week. But yeah, when it comes down to it, member of the family, what a pathetic asshole he is.
Yeah. Let's get another member of the family's thoughts, and this is one of a couple Andrew Klavan thoughts. Y'all know which one I'm going to next, but before we get to Christ is King, here's
stuff about going DEFCON on the Jews. Fine. She has a mentally ill friend. She stood by him, fine. It was a little uncomfortable, but still, so what? She attacked this guy, Rabbi Shmuley. I will tell you, with all honesty, I don't even know who Rabbi Shmuley is. I have no idea. I didn't look him up. I haven't seen anything from him. She's complaining about him. Fine. You don't like a rabbi? You're allowed not to like. You're allowed not to like Ben. You're allowed not to like anybody you don't like, if you can spell it out for me what the problem is. But when you start saying things like some of those books Hitler burned weren't so bad. You know, I was shocked. This is something Candace actually said. I was surprised to learn that the books Hitler was burning or the Nazis were burning, they weren't good books. They were bad books. They were socialist books. So,
to my understanding, there were a lot of gender ideology books and things, but
that's what I heard too. I don't know.
It doesn't matter if Candace Owens said like some of the books were bad, so I'm not that mad about him burning shit books at a time where books were the internet. I don't know. I'm not one big on censorship either, but if she was just saying like I can understand why they would have burned certain books, and I mean he's making it out to be like burning any book is evil, and I don't know. What do you think, Dave? You're muted, Dave.
Goddamn.
You just leave it on mute and you're like, well, there's my thoughts.
Yeah, right. I'm actually glad I didn't say that. No, that's very sneaky. And it, you know, he knows that we live in a time too where idiots say, "Oh, you banned books." So like he's using that loaded language in a time. So I just think that that's kind of shallow.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
I'm going to play more of this while I send this text. I don't need to talk about the text. I can just play the clip.
So, you know, that's true.
I really wish I had
Burning the
told
book
you that.
is the act of a savage, first of all. And when you start with burning books, you start burning people. But they burned Joseph Conrad, one of my
thing leads
favorite
to the other.
writers, Kafka, Hemingway, Jack London, and yes, some socialists, some of whom were extremely talented and some of whom were extremely interesting, like Karl Marx is an extremely interesting writer with whom I deeply, deeply disagree, but I don't burn his books because I'm not a savage. When you start saying that, that's a dog whistle. I'm sorry. I know it's a leftist phrase. I know they use it, you know, randomly with anything you say. I understand all of that. Still, the depredations of the Nazis against the Jews are one of the most well-documented, recorded atrocities in human history because they're Germans. They're Germans. They keep records. They keep very good records. We know these things happen. They weren't burning books. You know, they also hated Einstein because his science was Jewish science. They hated Mendelssohn.
So basically, we're going to go have a history lesson because Candace Owens said one thing about book burning, and now that... So Andrew Klavan, former family member, is throwing Candace Owens under the bus, really, here. Whether he agrees with her or disagrees with her, he could have said, like, there have been things that I disagree with Candace Owens on. You notice how he's not really getting into the later stuff, the stuff that happened at the end, the conversation with the rabbi, those things. He's got to point to some comment that she made who knows how long ago, completely unrelated to the firing. I don't know. Seems
like he's not looking for the truth, like he's trying to hammer home a point.
Yeah, he's trying to, I don't know. It seems to me like he's trying to save face with everybody. Like, yeah, Candace Owens is okay, but she did have this one thing, and you can understand why they would fire her for that, right? And she had this other thing. You can understand why they would fire her for that, right? But she's good people. Like, really, still kind of Michael Knowles-ish. Yeah. I don't really have an opinion, but I get it either way, which is not even addressing at all the reason for the firing. And I don't know the reason for the firing. I just have a lot of clues and a lot of hints.
And both of them, you know, honestly, this is why they have their jobs, I imagine, is because they're good at
being politicians.
Yeah. Well, they didn't say a whole lot. It took them, 3 minutes or so to get out their piece, but they didn't say much, just a bunch of words. Those are definitely words.
Now, Candace Owens responded to Andrew Klavan with a few tweets. She said, for the last week, my former colleague at the Daily Wire, Andrew Klavan, has been spreading some inaccuracies about me that I view to be disparaging to my character. So let's slowly unpack his claims here publicly. We're not going to do it slowly. Andrew Klavan, in an attempt to explain why Christ is King can be anti-Semitic, ordered this or offered this on a podcast about me. I should probably play that, but I still haven't played the Christ is King thing. Hi. My drink order is here. Let's go ahead and play Andrew Klavan. Here we go.
Part of it, totally fair question, and it was because one of our major talents at the Daily Wire parted ways. The Daily Wire parted ways with Candace Owens, and part of it was things that she was saying that we felt were strongly anti-Semitic, and she was doing it in such a way that it was kind of hard to pin down. So I was trying to show where these things happen. So, for instance, she retweeted a tweet accusing a Jewish guy of being drunk on Christian blood, which is, of course, an ancient slander.
This is an allegation that I've heard many times that I do want to get Candace Owens' take on. She said, wow, that sounds crazy. Candace Owens hates Jews so much that she randomly accused some fine young Jew of drinking Christian blood. Crazy. And also untrue and completely removed from some important context. One, I never reposted anything. I certainly did like a tweet. However, what is the appropriate context? The Jew Andrew Klavan is referring to is Rabbi Shmuley, who spent 2 years attacking me. No one, not a single one of my colleagues included, defended or said what he was doing. Which, yes, is important context here. After 2 years, I told the public about Rabbi Shmuley's nonstop harassment, plus showed proof of his threats. What did Rabbi Shmuley do in return? He libeled me harder. He accused me of directing my followers to murder Jews. I'm not kidding. This is what he tweeted. He said, arch anti-Semite Candace Owens is inciting her Jew-hating followers to threaten to murder Jews, and especially me. I have received untold numbers of messages like these from Candace's Jew-hating fans. Candace Owens and official Ben Shapiro will be responsible for any acts of, I'm assuming, violence. It says, when I see you, I'ma knock you the fuck out, Jewish. I will lay you out on the... Dave, do you want to read that out loud? I've been doing a lot of reading. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm not reading that. Why would we read this on your channel? We would just get, this might be the hate speech that they don't allow.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah? Okay. When I see you, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out, you Jew. What is that, a pig? You Jewish pig. I'm gonna lay you on the ground and spit. Bro. Oh my God. Spit in your face, bitch. I will catch you. See, this sucks because this guy does suck.
Mm-hmm.
Don't send him this.
And other people suck more.
Right,
like,
right.
There are even worse people. That doesn't give you the right to suck.
Oh, watch you cry like a bitch. This is so dumb. Come on, man. Do better.
Yeah. Candace says the rabbi was clearly lying. The person who messaged him privately in that correspondence did so before I had ever informed the public about his harassment. It was quite literally a smear. Grateful someone called him out on this by citing the date of the message. So what she's saying is he received that, and it shows the date, and apparently the date was before she said anything about him publicly. So blah, blah, blah. Whatever. You can go read this. Maybe I'll post it in the show notes or something, but we are running long. Dave, if you need to let your dog out or anything, feel free. I can find some way to kill time. I know that poor Kiefer has been suffering, but we're not doing an after party today, so
he's chilling right now. But yeah, he is. I think he's good. We'll
Yeah.
see. I probably got another 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay. Well, now after that 10 or 15 minutes, are you still good to go? Or do you mean 10 or 15 minutes still the bladder needs to be drained?
I will probably need to take him out in the next 15 minutes, I imagine.
Gotcha. So let's move along back to Andrew Klavan, former family member of Candace Owens on the Daily Wire, who is, to my understanding, from his words, former Jew converted to Christian, and he had this to say, and this is the reason why Christ is King was trending the other day on Twitter. It's not just because it's Easter, and this is how we're celebrating.
Grown. You know, when I did this, by the way, the priest who baptized me said, you know, Christians won't accept you. You'll still be a Jew. And I said, well, I am. That's my race. I'm a Jew. I'm proud of my race. It's a great race. It's done many, many great things, including write the Bible. And, you know, I am a Jew. But that hasn't happened at all. Christians have welcomed me with open arms, except this Christ the King anti-Semitic crowd. Christ is the King. And one day, every knee will bow and recognize it because he's not.
Did I miss something? I'm sure Nick Fuentes probably has harnessed this phrase and utilized it in his Nick Fuentes way. But before this came out, I did not hear anything about this movement, this Christ is King movement. All the Christians accepted me back. Like, he's been as long as I've known Andrew Klavan, he's pretended to be a Christian, at least, or like that's been his brand. And like, it's not like he just converted last week and then this Christ is King movement that Nick Fuentes started from Candace Owens came out and attacked me.
You remember when people were writing it's okay to be white?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that was, I would never write that. Because that's actually, I think, a dog whistle. That's a pretty good example of a dog whistle. But this kind of reminds me of that.
I don't even know if that is. I'm
I
going
don't
to go
know.
out on a limb here.
I think people that.
I don't think that it is. I think that it's a troll in the same way that it's like, hey, if you, it's putting
Obviously
it on blast.
it's
If
okay
you
to
disagree with that, it's a bit of a troll, kind of like this
But
thing. I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, maybe a troll is accurate, but yeah, like, why would you fucking just like need to say that? But yeah, this guy, former or current Christian, ex-Jew. Yeah, this is interesting.
This Christ is King crowd, they're the only ones that haven't embraced me in Christianity.
Right.
The ones
What
that
is the
believe that Christ is
specific?
King.
Yeah, what is this Christ is King crowd? What is that? That's
Do they
all
have
of
a
the Christians.
website? Have they done any marches? What are we talking about here exactly? But
That is technically, though, that is anti-Semitic, though, right? According to their definition, which is according to them, ever shifting, ever changing, anything that would go against their doctrine would be that, right? So that absolutely, that is that. Which, by the way, I would ask you, like, and I'm curious. I don't know if they're, to the people in the chat, you Christ is King people, if there's any Jews in the chat, the Jews do not believe that Jesus was the savior or even a prophet. They believe that is yet to come.
Correct.
So when that happens, right? If that happens, right? The one that the Jews declare is God, what would the Christians say to that? What would that be? Would that be anti something? Would that be blasphemous at least? Like, you are heading towards a collision here.
Yeah.
So of ideologies. I love that people are getting down to it, though. Yeah. Christians are like, you know what? I never read the Old Testament. I'm gonna get to that.
Like,
I'm gonna read
the
a little
whole
bit.
Boomer Zionist movement that has made it a thing that you have to support Israel no matter what they do, because it says in the Bible that you support Israel, and we're Republicans. Like, that whole mentality is where all of this comes to a head when you have Ben Shapiro and Andrew Klavan on the same conservative Christian network. At some point, when Israel is bombing Gaza, you have to, and we are supposed to fund it or not, you have to eventually address this. And I think it's kind of a beautiful thing that they have to really squirm around when it comes to honesty, when things happen in the world that challenge their very valuable dichotomy, or their very valuable economy that they've created for themselves of this all makes sense and we can all live happily, and it's just leftists versus us Jews and Christians. We're over here, the Jews and Christians, just working against the leftists. Well,
see, I hope this is an example of, like, Steven Crowder building his house on bullshit. I hope that it comes to light. I hope that fucking the light of the Lord shines on this house of unholy fucking deeds. Yeah. And that all these guys who are, oh, I'm a Christian, oh, I'm a Jew. It's like, no, you're not. You guys are all godless, soulless, motherfucking succubuses. And that's why you're all dancing around this shit. And if you were legitimate, even just journalists, you would be talking about this issue or this topic. It's on your fucking network. These are your people.
The one guy said that you're in my family. Like, come on. You're all opportunists. You will all say whatever it takes, just like Chappelle said.
In all
You know?
of this, like, we're talking about, we're looking at a Christian who is at a point where he has to say Christ is king is borderline satanic. Like that inversion right there. And it's all based on war. People killing people. Like whatever their cause or brand. It's all based on people killing people, and because we're tied up in people killing people and we took a side on that, now Christian Andrew Klavan is like, Christ is king. The Christ is king crowd is satanic. So, enjoy.
Just my king, he's king of the universe. But when you use that phrase to mean that God has abandoned his chosen people, the Jews, through whom he came into this world incarnate, and that he's broken his promises, his covenant with the Jews, you are quoting scripture like Satan does in the Bible. You are quoting scripture to your purposes, and that to me is specifically wicked. You know, when you spit that phrase at Ben Shapiro, my friend Ben Shapiro, and you know, I understand this. All of you who love Ben, and I love Ben, and Jordan Peterson, you all want to see them find Jesus because you know what joy and freedom that gives you, and you certainly feel that it alters your relationship with God. But when I think about this, to be honest with you, you know, and I know some people will disagree with this, but
Bro, can you pause it?
Yeah.
I think this is the function of these influencers. We've talked about influence. Hey, Christians, can I rap with you for a second? I've been thinking, you know, like, sure, we want people to be Christians, but I don't know. I think God has a plan for our friend Ben Shapiro. Like, this is fucking unholy, bro. What this guy's doing.
Call him an unholy rabbi. Are you qualified to say that, Dave?
No. Well, no uterus, no opinion, I guess. Whatever. Yeah. I don't know. That's the vibe I get. It's the inversion. It's the upside down. So that is what I'm proposing. Yes, in fact.
Yeah. What he wraps up with here is just from somebody like my dad was a pastor, grew up staunchly conservative Christian, right wing, fuck like the Browns. I mean, my family was not racist. But as far as like George W. Bush's war on the Browns because of 9/11, rah, like that was the entire society that I grew up in. And this is
Were they more into it because they were brown or because they were Muslim? Or just far away?
I'm pretty sure my folks, to give them full benefit of the doubt, it was mostly about 9/11 and the bullshit that they were sold on that. But the culture definitely was, we are... I don't know. Even in Illinois, like in Illinois, that's not Chicago. It's just conservative Christian for the most part, and like good old corn-fed folk who are just like, this is what we believe, and the government is very much our Lord and Savior because George W. Bush is going to end abortion and all that fun stuff. So all that to say, I'm very familiar, like I'm Rabbi Shmuley talking to Andrew Klavan saying, you don't, I don't know that you have the ability to speak on this topic because you don't understand my heritage and my upbringing and you just don't quite get it. But when you come out and you say that as Ben Shapiro's friend, God probably chose him to not be a Christian. I just have some questions, like just a couple questions. Exactly what your point, what your purpose is in the God movement that you pretend to be a part of.
You know, and I know some people will disagree with this, but life is not a game show where you guess the name of God and you get to go to heaven. Honk, you know, yes, the name is Jesus. I look at Ben's life and I think if Ben were to embrace Jesus Christ, it would cause devastation to his family, to the people who love him, to the people who listen to him, to his position in the world. I just have this feeling that God has put this guy where he wants him to do what he wants him to do. And as you know, I feel that, you know, the Jews were not abandoned by God.
So by boomer conservative Christianity, which I do not subscribe to, even though Christian's close enough, just like libertarian, and conspiracy theorist. But from the boomer Christian perspective, seems to be, if you're not a Christian, if you don't accept Jesus Christ, then you're going to go to hell and die forever. You're going to burn forever. That's what they seem to believe.
And the most charitable is that if you haven't heard the word of Christ, then you won't go to hell. But if
Right.
you are presented with that and then say no, well, can't help you, son.
Right. So the argument for the boomer conservatives, one of your leaders in the boomer conservative, right-wing conservative Christian movement, Andrew Klavan, his argument is Ben Shapiro, yes, we care about him, we love him, he's going to go to hell and burn forever, but I think that if we didn't let Ben Shapiro burn in hell forever, then he would cause devastation to his family and to other people. If he started spreading the message of Jesus, then that would just cause devastation, because Christ is King is anti-Semitic, guys.
Right. A born-again Christian Ben Shapiro would wreak havoc in his personal life.
Yep.
Do you know how inconvenient this would be for Ben and his family? We'd
Can
have
you
to
imagine
rework so
the
much stuff.
suffering that his brand would be under? His brand, man. Think of the
his
likes.
soul, dude. His
Think
soul.
of the
This guy's
subscribers.
he's telling you he believes that his soul's salvation is dependent on accepting Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. But he should not do that
because of his
brand.
Right?
God has another
That's it.
plan. Listen,
That's
most
real
people
Jewish,
should do that.
Andrew. That's real Jewish.
All of you should do that. But yeah, over here we've got this thing, and it would just be horribly inconvenient.
Yep. Now, we'll briefly touch on this. Lauren Chen, she hosted a Twitter Spaces where Christ is King was the topic, and whether or not it was anti-Semitic. Jeremy Boring was involved on this. I didn't catch the Spaces, but I caught the clips, a couple of them. Jeremy Boring and Nick Fuentes were both on this call, and I love our timeline. I love just the challenging of minds. Doesn't matter who you agree with or disagree with. The challenging of minds of just radicals meeting radicals, and go check that out. There's a few things, and there's one point where somebody asked Jeremy Boring if, actually I think that's this one. I'll just play it real quick.
Jeremy, I appreciate you saying that. Is there any chance that the public could also get an interview between Ben Shapiro and Nick Fuentes? Is there any possibility that could happen?
We will.
The public just got a debate between me and Nick Fuentes tonight. I feel like we've taken a huge step.
I agree. It's a really good step. Do you think there's a possibility we could
answer
broker
the
something
question.
like that? Because I think that's a conversation America needs to hear.
I've said all along throughout the evening that I don't speak for Ben Shapiro or any of my hosts, but I would be absolutely thrilled to have.
But I'm sure if Ben Shapiro were here, he would say, "I cannot comment on that at this juncture, and I will get back to you at a later time." Yes. So Jeremy Boring weaseling out of that as well, but he does say that he fully supports a conversation between Nick Fuentes and Ben Shapiro, and I also fully support that and disagree with both of them on many, many things, and think that they're both a little bit retarded. But would love that. Would love to see that happen. We've talked a lot about Rabbi Shmuley. Dave, do you need to let your dog out before we wrap this up on a real dirty end?
Don't jinx it.
Okay.
I think let's try
good?
and go for it.
All right, let's do it. Rabbi Shmuley, this is Rabbi Shmuley's response to the Candace Owens firing, and it's your guy. It's your thought leader. I mean, whatever.
Hi, I'm a Candace Owens Jew. I love Israel and I hate America. Dual loyalty. I'm filth, but I love cash. Love money. It's all about the Benjamins. Money, money, money. But more than anything else, what I really want, what my giant nose needs just to grow more warts, is Christian blood. Let me see if I can find any. Let me see. Are you guys, you Jewish children? This is not.
I mean, this is like drag queen story hour for Jews.
Jew Queen Story Hour?
Yeah.
It's bad, dude.
It's real bad. And I understand. I don't know. I try to play both sides always, Dave. You know that. I'm like, well, this guy's being called. If he feels like he's under attack by Candace Owens, he feels like she's got this perception of Jews and stuff, then I put on this and I troll her. But again, like, did you troll her as much as you kind of proved her point? Like, that you're a piece of shit?
Absolute trash, dude. And again, in my view, until proven otherwise, this guy is not an organic grassroots phenomena that people are just like, oh my God, have you seen this genius, Rabbi Shmuley, and what
He's
he has
great.
to say?
Did you see when he wore the dollar outfit and said Candace Owens was a racist? Yeah, it was great.
Get the fuck out of here. This guy is disgusting. Human trash, bro. And he knows it, I think. Like, he just, like...
And if any of us did what he's doing right now, we'd be called anti-Semitic.
Well, yeah, but, you know, he's it's the N-word rules. You know what I mean? If you are that, you can use it.
Now, if Candace Owens put on blackface, do you think they would say that she's racist for it?
Ooh. Bro, I don't know. But I did say that...
they would. They already call her racist for having opinions.
They do. Yep. Once Dave Smith brings her into the Libertarian Party, the people that call him racist will also call her racist. It'll be great.
RFK, Candace Owens, join the Libertarian Party. I'll vote for you. It's fine.
Not my day. This sucks. You wearing Israeli flag? Esther, are you wearing an Israeli flag? What's this big...
Now, the conspiracy people, and Alex Jones will bring it up shortly, they're saying that he fondled this girl right here, and they took a very convenient screenshot of his hand in an uncomfortable place there. Even as the skeptic here, mostly who thinks that this guy is a piece of shit, I don't think that this man just fondled that girl. The screenshots are very convenient, but yeah, judge for yourself.
Esther, are you wearing an Israeli flag? What's this big nose that Zadie has? Is that a big, giant Jewish schnoz? Are you a panda? Are you a Christian?
Now, he's gross and retarded, but I don't think he just sexually abused that girl, personally.
Christian panda, so I can drink some of this? Yeah, okay, good. Happy Purim, everybody. Okay.
All right, so, yeah. I know that's not representation of Jews. That's Rabbi Shmuley's interpretation of Candace Owens' interpretation of Jews, which is really Rabbi Shmuley's interpretation of Jews. And
right. And to go back to our homie Jeremy Kaufman, it's really just about IQ. Like, Jews typically have a high IQ. And when you are smart, you will use your intellect either for the good of mankind, and you'll become Mel Brooks or, you know, Murray Rothbard, or you'll use it to fuck people over.
Yeah.
Like Rabbi Shmuley. Yeah. Like, you know, I think that's really what it boils down to.
Case in point, that's a great transition into the next clip, because you would think that Rabbi Shmuley would be a big fan of Ben Shapiro for his brother for firing Candace Owens, but instead, Rabbi Shmuley had this to say about the whole thing.
To paraphrase the great Winston Churchill when it comes to Ben Shapiro, never in the annals of Jewish history has one so small been guilty of a sin so egregious over a complaint so petty. Ben, you're complaining about a Purim, like a Halloween costume. You employed and raked in millions of dollars off a host.
I don't know what Ben Shapiro's response was to the get up. Apparently there was something. I'm sure it was like, this is absolutely disgusting and reprehensible, and you're a disgrace to our people. But yeah, he's pissed off about that, but he turns it into, you're bad because you employed Candace Owens, even though you just fired her, and that's why all this started. Yeah,
and this is where
the gaslight.
I get a little confused, and I'm not sure what's going on. Kind of like when Piers Morgan was disagreeing with Ben Shapiro. It's like, bro, you're not down with Ben Shapiro. You guys are both fucking, you know, Mossad influencers. Maybe you can get your shit together, and you know.
I just take them at their words. That none of them are trustworthy, and they're all eating each other alive.
Yeah,
much the same as, like, there's all the different cliques and circles and stuff, like the cross section of the conservative circle with the Jewish circle and the boomer conservative Christian circle, and all these things are kind of like spiraling into each other because of this current conflict.
who highlighted that Jews drink Christian blood, that the Israeli Defense Forces are guilty of genocide. Someone who praised Kanye West, who loves Hitler, who killed 10,000 of your people every single day. You didn't create the Daily Wire. You created the Daily Liar, a sewer of racism.
Zing.
That George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose, not because he couldn't breathe with a cop's knee on his neck, and misogyny that Brigitte Macron, the first lady.
See, so these are his talking points. This is why, like, when the other rabbi said misogyny, I mean anti-Semitism, it's because this is the back and forth that's going on. Like, this is their brand, victim and victim of. I don't know, George Floyd's a victim because not fentanyl, and that's why Daily Wire Jew is bad. It's just such the opposite of a circle jerk. I don't know what that would be. Circle insertion?
A clam jam?
Perhaps. The Jewish clam jam.
To your friend says male genitalia. Are you guys not embarrassed? It's disgusting. But above all else, the Jews are killers. We killed Michael Jackson. We run sex pedophiles. Ben, this stuff is.
Hold on. Okay, as somebody who is big in the media,
but above all else, the Jews are killers.
I will clip this out.
letting this audio clip, like this guy is a controversial figure. He knows how the internet works. Letting this audio exist.
Above all else, the Jews are killers. We killed Michael Jackson. We run sex pedophiles. Ben, this stuff is rancid. It's gross, and you should be ashamed.
You're right. You stumbled on it, bro. This guy is unintentional. He's here to pollute what's ugly and make it even uglier. So he's here to make everything worse. What do you call it? Poison the well. That's really interesting.
He's what we've accused Alex Jones of being in the past for conspiracy folk. Much in part because he didn't speak out about things like Israel or, for me, flat Earth. But, we all have our brands. We all have our cults. Now, speaking of Alex Jones, we're gonna have to get into this because this happened last night, and this is the peak of our timeline. Last night, Alex Jones had Rabbi Shmuley on the show. And they had an hour and a half, I think, conversation. I wish once again that I could play the whole thing for you, because Dave, you got on today and you were like, "Did you catch that Alex Jones?" I saw some clips, and I was like, "I've watched the entire thing twice." I watched it last night as soon as it came out, and I watched it this morning because I just love the challenging of the minds. And these are two people that, like, Alex Jones was in trouble for Kanye West coming on and being the absolute crazy, the Candace Owens 0.0, where he's saying, I love certain dictators of the past and such flagrant things. And at that time, when that happened, I said, Kanye West did an amazing job at making Alex Jones seem like the sane person in the room. Now we've got Rabbi Shmuley coming on in the inverse of that, still making Alex Jones seem like the most sane person in the room. So Alex Jones was the person who was so out on the outskirts of society that he was cast out. He was banned from platforms. And now we've got extreme anti-Semite, I suppose, in Kanye West, and extreme Semite here, both making making Alex Jones seem like the rational person. This is where we are, Dave. Any thoughts before we watch this?
Yes, and I want maybe you can tell me beforehand. But here's my conspiracy theory, that it was getting out that Alex Jones, people have put this on my shit when I share Alex Jones stuff. And I share Alex Jones stuff frequently because it's based and correct and fun and whatever. But I've seen, oh, no, he's an Israeli shill. Bro, he's just another one. He doesn't talk about, the stuff, the real shit.
Yeah.
So whatever, we've talked about limited hangouts here, but if that is the case, if they really were onto that, do you think that they could, make this happen as like a way to kind of rehab that image that he is in Israel, a shill for Israel or something like that?
So you think this is re-upping Alex Jones's credibility, and that's why he's doing it?
Right. Like, look, I took on a guy, millions of people saw it. This will get shared around. He's obviously the bad guy in this, and everybody can tell that. And I slayed the demon. Now I'm on the team.
Dude, I still think Alex Jones is Bill Hicks, and I still don't trust him. But I don't. There's no red flags here for me. It seemed like Alex Jones was sincerely baffled once again. Like, how are you making these arguments? These are not arguments. Just perplexed, genuinely.
Yeah.
And also,
that's why I still share his stuff. I don't share. Man, there's more evidence to me that Ben Shapiro is obviously on the. If you're talking about people, shill for the. Yeah, right. At least he back in the day.
I think it's worth a mention. I wasn't going to bring this up, but since you said that. Yeah, there are conspiracy people who will say, well, he wasn't hard on Israel ever or whatever, but throwbacks.
I don't support the Palestinians either. They're all hyped up and psychotic. But Israel's going to get us nuked, always backing them up like this. Israel calls the Palestinians goyim or cattle or dogs or subhuman. They keep them on concentration camps. I got video of them taking Palestinian women's tomatoes they grow and breaking their water containers and stealing. That's why you have this crap. And our children are going to die. We're going to get nuked because of this. Iran's got the nukes now. Syria.
So, yeah, historically, he has, I don't know. You're talking to the guy who interviewed Alex Jones's ex-wife and insisted in the after party that he was Bill Hicks and asked her for evidence that he was not Bill Hicks. I don't trust Alex Jones, but I'm trusting him a little bit more. And I don't. Maybe I'm getting old, and much like the you grow in and out of the libertarian stuff as it doesn't work out. Maybe the conspiracy stuff, you're just like, yeah, I don't trust it, but also it's better than everything else.
Bro, I mean, the feeling I get when I see that. From 2001, almost 25 fucking years ago, dude. Think about the average human lifespan. The same shit we're fucking talking about today.
Yep.
A quarter century ago, bro. That's infuriating, man. So like, yeah, Alex Jones, I don't know. Maybe you're a limited hangout. Maybe you're whatever, shill for somebody. I don't fucking know, but that's a long period of time to go by to still be talking about the same shit. Oh, Iran. Oh, the bomb. Oh, Israel is going to draw us into this. Dude, like how much of our life are we going to do this same shit, this same fucking dance? That is infuriating.
Yeah. I was talking earlier about, I feel like we've even just about the stories that we talk about on this show within the last 6 months, I feel like the repeat cycle has so rapidly become the news cycle is just the same thing over and over again. And on a broad spectrum, it's the same thing over and over again. No matter what else whatever figures come in and distract you or whatever, it's still just the same thing at the end of the day. I did have a fake super chat here. I've been ignoring you guys. If you had any fake super chats, please resubmit them because whatever. Me and Dave are having a good discussion.
Bro, we got a Groiper in the chat. He's not fake super chatting it, but he is a Groiper.
Yeah. Well, he's got a fake super chat. I'll read even a white Groiper. He's been here before. Hannah Forseen says, fake super chat. Did you see Rabbi Shmuley on Alex Jones? AJ asked if he was using a butt plug during the interview. Yes.
Yeah. Fucking awesome.
That's a great segue. Good timing into here's what happened last night. Breaking just. I once thought that we lived in a society. I once thought that we lived in a reality, really. Now I'm like the whole. I think it was before you were on the show, Dave. I said I came up with Simulation Steve. Like, we're in a simulation. I've accepted that we're in a simulation. We're not just in a simulation, but we're in a simulation, and there's this intern who just came in. Like, they got bored with our timeline, and this intern, just Steve. It's like, they're like, just give this reality to Steve. We don't care anymore. And Steve's like, fuck yeah, let's go. And he's really like, just going for it. And I love Steve.
Man.
I love him.
Man. The timeline where that show continues is probably pretty badass.
Yeah.
You know?
So, thank you, Simulation Steve. Last night, Rabbi Shmuley was on InfoWars, and here we go.
You just said that the Jewish people battle pornography
You're the guy on Howard Stern doing all this wild stuff. You're the guy in videos you release yourself. It looks like your grandson or some kid that you're table dancing on, grinding on him. You're grabbing, I think it's your granddaughter's or a little girl's breast. You're talking about my penis on air and just now that my penis is small and all the rest of this stuff. And you're sitting there, are a famous guy for being, let's just say, wild. I wasn't going to raise the fact that you got kosher dildos and butt plugs. I would ask you, are you wearing one now? And then you tell me, you have a butt plug right now?
Yeah. Thank you, Simulation Steve.
My answer?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Butt Plug.
God almighty, is that really what's on your mind, butt plugs?
You're the one on TV talking about my penis to 5 million people.
And I didn't talk about your pee-pee. I was saying the moment you start focusing on other people's bulge or lack thereof, then you make yourself fair game, Alex Jones. Now,
hey, I love butt plugs for pedophiles.
No, I told you I'm giving those to you for free because you seem to really need it. So that's a gift. You don't have to plug that. It's coming. Just
will
give me
you
your
help
address.
me fit my butt plug?
However,
are you Rabbi Butt Plug?
Whatever floats your boat, Alex Jones. It seems that you're jealous of my sex life. People like you and Candace Owens are obsessed with Jewish sex. We're here. You brought up butt plugs, my book Kosher Sex, which I could not be more proud of. Alex, maybe you're having terrible sex. Maybe you.
Does that feel like gaslighting at all to you, Dave?
Awesome.
Like you guys pointed out that it's gross that I have a podcast about sex with my daughter and that I have a butt plug line with my daughter and that I do this and that. And that's because you guys are obsessed with, like, this is AOC being like, oh, it's just because you want to date me. It's because you want to date me that you've criticized my supporting of atrocities. It's because you want to date me. You guys are obsessed with Jewish sex for noticing that I am obsessed with Jewish sex.
This is you don't debate that. He's saying the only thing you could possibly fucking say if that's what you do. Oh my God. Why are you obsessed with me? Oh my God.
Yeah. Why do you love me so much? Yeah. It's probably because you have a bad sex life, Alex Jones.
Or just, I don't know. Maybe, one second, maybe you're really repressed. Maybe you just don't know what the hell you're doing. And maybe if you read my book and were less repressed, you would hate people less. Maybe you'd have more joy in your life. Maybe you'd have more celebration in your life. But I've seen so many, it's incredible, so many anti-Semites, they hate Jews having great sex. Now, we Jews have great sex. We believe in it. The Bible celebrates
I'm going to break.
it.
We got 1 minute break. We'll come back.
Jews.
I'm not.
We Jews love sex.
We Jews, we have great sex. Everybody knows we Jews have great sex. That's so dumb.
If you've noticed that we're promoting sex to people in unsavory ways, it's probably because we just love sex and you guys just aren't having good sex.
You're so sexually repressed, you won't even fucking do a podcast about sex with your kids.
You won't make butt plugs with your daughters? Man, I am sorry for you. Wow.
I'm not going to tell you.
Your marriage probably would have been saved if you had made butt plugs with your daughter and sold them to strangers. That would have saved your marriage, Alex Jones.
About my personal life.
You should read my book and get past your sexual repression. I think it would
Your
help you.
Holiness, I can assure you.
I like that. I like your holiness. Thank you.
Your grace. I have an extremely empowered life. In fact, it's kind of, I'm not Will Chamberlain.
I don't know. Sounds like you're really jealous of mine, to be perfectly honest.
I really have not been thinking about you.
I'm prepared to give you a bunch of our novelty products for your wife, by the way. Only in marriage. We're against adultery, God forbid, pornography. I'll give it to you as a gift, just so that maybe you'll be a bit less.
Shmuley, you got me where it
hateful
hurts,
Jews.
man. I'm really repressed. I've never had any women. You're right. My sex life's terrible.
Sounds pretty
Oh God, you caught me.
darn
I'm
jealous
caught.
of Jews. You sound pretty darn jealous
I
of
am
Jewish
not thinking about
sex.
Jews sex. Give me a break.
This is great, dude. This is so great.
Oh man, I mean, just red meat, and I like, no matter what side you land on, or if you agree with me that everybody's retarded in all of these conversations, thank you, Simulation Steve. Thank you for this red meat, and quite honestly, like, I disagree with both of them on so many things. And I love that two people that are dog shit crazy are clashing on these issues, and we get to watch it. It's beautiful red meat. Thank you, the internet. Like,
Yeah,
I
but-
don't want to see the Nick Fuentes debate with Ben Shapiro. I want to see it, and I will disagree with them both very heavily. Rabbi Shmuley lost this debate. Let me be very clear, but I do enjoy thoroughly the entertainment value. We do have a couple more clips.
Well, real quick, the way that you just proposed that was that this was just a couple of crazy people yelling at each other, bro. That was a fucking degenerate, disgusting demon, an American hero, Alex Jones. There's no, it's not just like, well, you know, whatever, Republican, Democrat, duopoly up there on the stage, just, you know, bickering like always. No. That's fucking American hero. I would vote for Alex Jones for president. Would you support that on a ticket?
Is he running against Rabbi Shmuley?
Bro, I don't care who he's running against. He's fucking winning. He's coming out on top because he's a warrior.
Yeah, I vote for him. Even as a psyop, even though I don't trust him, sure.
Yeah.
Better.
You don't trust anybody running for president, but would you vote for that? Yeah. If you're in the chat,
if
you
like
would
running
vote
against
for,
Donald Trump, I'd be like, yeah, Alex Jones.
Give it a thumbs
I
up.
wouldn't vote
Yeah.
for Donald Trump, but I would vote for Alex Jones. Yep.
Of course, me too.
Yep.
We're on the same page.
If for no other reason, even if he's controlled opposition, if for no other reason, for more of the entertainment value, which we're gonna get more because it keeps going.
Plugs. You're the one on TV talking about my penis to 5 million people.
No. I said that when you degraded Michelle Obama by saying that she had a bulge, I said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Like,
stop.
I feel like we don't even have to comment on any of this. Like, I feel like we should. But it's like,
we could, right?
Just embrace the moment, you guys. We've got Alex Jones telling butt plug Rabbi that debating whether or not Michelle Obama has a penis. Like, if this is the level of intelligence that we're dealing with, then thank you for the entertainment value at the very least. Any thoughts, Dave?
Well,
would you like to say a quick prayer to Simulation Steve for me?
No, that's before my time. And you know
Prayer
what? He
things.
would have. I am against
You'll come
UBI
around.
and automation. No, you need a human being on this show to fucking get you through it. So no, that's what I wanted to say.
Degrading women. It's misogyny. It's what you don't like Michelle Obama's policy's fine, but you believe she's a man, honestly?
Well, Joan Rivers thought that, but we're about to go to break. Stay right there.
Do you believe she's a man? Do you believe that Michelle Obama's a man?
No, I just believe that she's got.
Why don't you apologize to her right here and now?
I believe she has bigger shoulders than an NFL linebacker.
But just apologize to her for your disgusting racism and misogyny.
Oh, I need to apologize and be sad. No, I think she is a man.
You have to apologize.
And I think France's pedophile wife is a pedophile. I think the president of France's wife is a pedophile on record when he was 14. It's on record. Oh, so you're for teachers?
But is she a man? Is she a man?
Are you
But
for?
Candace
Yes.
Owens said-
This is where we're at.
I'm going to ask you,
for her reputation that she's
14-year-olds.
a man.
Just
is
marvel.
it okay for a teacher to have sex with 14-year-old
So good.
students?
You know what? That is a very fair question. It's a completely different question saying that she is a man. I asked you something different. Candace Owens did not bring up whether she was having sex with a juvenile. Candace Owens said that she is a man. I'm asking you, and Candace Owens said, I will
Playing
leave
him out.
my show and give up my professional reputation if I'm proved wrong. I'm asking you, Alex Jones,
Yes.
is Brigitte Majon a man?
I think she's not just a man. He's a pedophile and he's ugly. He's got a big old Adam's apple. And I believe the president of France's wife is a disgusting pedophile.
I've got nothing. I don't know who this person is. It doesn't matter. Like, let's go.
President.
Let's go.
20.
Also, we got to get out of here. But just it should be noted. Good friend of Rabbi Shmuley, RFK Jr.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even have words. That a man who just said that could be called an anti-Semite. Honestly, I just don't have words. I mean, you're challenging an entire party right now to almost go back to the roots. So let's talk about that for a moment. What is your connection to Israel? What do you think about Israel? And what do you think about the Democratic Party's posture vis-a-vis Israel?
Grew up believing that the state of Israel was this extraordinary,
blossom in the desert. It was an oasis of democracy, of values, of human rights in a missive sea of totalitarianism. And I made that assumption. I mean, I assumed that my children would feel the same way. I was shocked in recent years that my kids coming home from college had a very different narrative about Israel that they had picked up from their, from the gestalt, from the milieu.
Just the woke crowd.
That narrative
the woke
is a narrative
crowd
that has been adopted in recent years
what's
by
pushing
the Democratic Party.
This anti-Israel shit.
Which sees Israel as an occupying nation, an imperium, oppressing indigenous Palestinians, and as you know, as a racist state and an apartheid state. And, part of my campaign is going to be, a major piece of it is going to be explaining to American citizens why that view is wrong. And
please pause it.
Yep.
Please.
Yep.
Bro, this is
Go ahead,
the function. This is the function of the RFK campaign. Because you know where the money is. Just follow the money. All the old same tropes. This is not even difficult to see at this point. As he just told you, this is an educational campaign to teach liberal youth about Israel. We're going to educate you guys about this. And that's what we're focused on. He just really gave it away, dude. I mean, he gave it away right after October 7th. But no wonder that this campaign is ready to go. So you got all the money in the world, just like Daily Wire, all the money in the world to spend on all the things that you need.
Yep.
And
now they got more because of the big, exciting new announcement of whatever the fuck her name was.
I know, bro. As soon as they said her name, I was like, I've never heard of her, but I've never been. Just like we're not ready for a President Nikki, we're also not ready for a Vice President Nicole. It's just not. We're not there yet as a people. We'll get there, but
I mean, we did have Vice President Kamala, and I do think that she's leaps and bounds already without hearing a single word come out of her mouth. I believe
this isn't
leaps
about
and bounds above Kamala.
This isn't about their IQ or anything like that. It's, in fact, I'm sure they're both, they could be both corruptible. But
sure,
yeah, I don't know. I just I have a feeling we're just not ready for it. But they know that they're not. These people are not there to be competitive for the presidency. They know that.
Yeah.
So what is it about? It's about educating the public, just like the Libertarian Party should really be about educating the public about what libertarianism is, but they have a different mission. I think that's what they're about. And here's the guy ready to promote him. That's funny.
Yep.
A couple of influencers influencing.
Yep. Just a big old circle, twisted web of who knows what. Politics, at the very least. It's all politics, and whatever your religious view, the politics seems to be what really is the common denominator amongst all these folks. Now, I know that it's been a rough one. It's been a little tense. There's been some uncomfortable topics, so I want to leave us on a positive note. I want to go back to Steve from Blues Clues to comfort us as we get out of here. Here's Steve from Blues Clues.
Hello, everyone. Don Lemon here from The Don Lemon Show. A word, okay? A champion of free speech has just been exposed as a fraud. No, I'm not talking about Elon Musk. That was then, this is now. I'm talking about Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro and his friends over at the Daily Wire. Just in case you have not heard the news, they fired Candace Owens this morning. Candace Owens, perhaps the most infamous black conservative in the country.
Now, Dave, I mentioned the Blues Clues reference because do you remember not long ago when this guy was like a top anchor at CNN?
Yes.
And now his production quality is like,
oh, bro,
this?
You got me. This is I was just thinking about the best part about the COVID regime was seeing when these guys couldn't go into their studios and they had to like do makeshift operations, and you could see how phony they were without, all the lighting and all the stuff. And that's exactly what came to mind with this. Like you can tell the script writer is not there and everything is just not there.
I may not have gotten my $5 billion contract with Elon Musk to podcast from space, but I do have this green screen in my bedroom that I can utilize with some licensed background music over a 3.5-minute video that is complete and utter nonsense.
My shit looks better than Don Lemon's, bro. I can't tell you how good that makes me feel.
Yeah, that's where we're at. More, Steve.
That Candace Owens, the one who wore the White Lives Matter jacket.
Gasp.
With Kanye West. You may remember her as the former comms director for Turning Point USA.
Gasp.
Or you may remember the time that she said that she was okay with Hitler until he attempted to, quote, globalize.
I did have that clip pulled up. I already closed it, but it's fake. It's false. Just go look it up. It's fine.
Yes, that Candace Owens. Well, just over the last several months, Candace Owens has graduated from veiled anti-Semitic remarks to really out-and-out Jew hatred. Candace Owens.
I love this music.
Went too far.
It really gets
for
me
the far
hyped
right.
for
She
Don
finally
Lemon's
went
green
too
screen
far
bed
for the free
sheet.
speech absolutist crowd. The Daily Wire kicked her to the curb after 3 years with the company.
Bro, he did not spring for anything past royalty free.
It's just like a 30-second loop. And it's like, I don't know, Rocky running up the stairs while he sits in his bedroom.
Right. It's like really intense, bro. For some,
like,
you know,
pretending that he has a career. That's what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
He is at our level. I mean, sure, he's got a lot more followers because of his name, but he is at our level and below it production-wise.
Hey, folks, newsman Don Lemon here.
She is the only woman, she is the only person of color on their talent roster. As I said, probably the most infamous black conservative in the country.
Definitely not you.
This is a scandal because the far right reaches of Reddit, 4chan, and X, they have become a circular firing squad. But here's the thing though. The real story here is not the drama. It's not that. It's not the Daily Wire, their office politics, or it's not social media sniping. That is to come for sure. Here's the story. The story is the fact that Ben Shapiro, like Elon Musk before him, has been outed as a free speech fraud.
All right, so we can basically end that there. I can't handle that much energy out of any 3.5-minute video. But free speech fraud is what he's going with. He's calling out Ben Shapiro for being a free speech fraud. Don Lemon of CNN, who just called out Elon Musk for being a free speech fraud, because Elon Musk would not pay him billions of dollars to podcast from space. So that's his level of free speech fraud. He's in a weird predicament here because he has to be like, Candace Owens is black, so good. Candace Owens is for speech that goes against my enemy, so that's good. Ben Shapiro is against free speech, but I like that because I don't actually like Candace Owens' opinion. It's this weird balancing act that he's doing here just to have an opinion on the thing that wasn't written up for him.
Right. Please listen to me. Well, yeah, he's still a leftist. So he's going to make the leftist argument as best as he can, which is pretty unremarkable. That is one unimpressive dude.
Yeah.
But God bless him for trying, getting out there.
He was much more concise than we were because we're at like 2.5 hours. He was at like 2.5 minutes. So we should probably go.
Yeah, but this way more fun.
It is.
Right.
Everything's more fun than Don Lemon. But do you have any final thoughts on any of this stuff, any of this anti-Semitism? I mean, it is inevitable. Like, if we ever get to any level of Candace Owens, this will definitely come back to haunt us because the people that Candace Owens called out are not in power. And if you say that they are in power, they will cancel you, apparently. Like, I don't know. I don't care. I don't know or care. But again, it's like a David Koresh Waco situation where you are fulfilling the prophecy that was foretold. And if you don't want to be a stereotype, don't be a stereotype. That's I try to not be a straight white male stereotype. I think I do it pretty well. I get called gay on a regular basis. So, yeah. just don't further the stereotype, Rabbi Shmuley, and definitely don't do whatever the fuck that was. Dave, you got any thoughts on all of this and all the cancellations that are to come for us?
Yeah, I want all these people to stop making me an extremist. I do want that. And stop making Alex Jones look great. You know what I mean? That shouldn't be the thing. He shouldn't be up there with Julian Assange for America's greatest journalist. That should, you know, you guys should all be doing the damn thing. But no, seriously, bro, I can't wait to hang out with you on 420 and do some fucking anti-Semitism in real life. That'll be cool. That'll be great.
Until I get
right. We won't.
And then I will film it, and I will be the one editing it. So whatever comes out of it is absolutely true.
Exactly. Bohemian Grove. Here we come with some tiki torches.
I like it.
I'm looking forward to that, man. No, it's good chat. I mean, necessary
What
chat.
are we going to mock sacrifice at Bohemian Grove?
Somebody is bringing a paper mache Moloch, I'm sure. Somebody's got to have one. It's got to be enough white people there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
You could have went more anti-Semitic with that joke, but I'm glad you didn't.
I'm really not. I'm not even an anti-Semitic person. I wear, flip-flops, and I drive a Prius, and I voted for Nader once. So I don't know what, you guys want to call me that shit? You can call me whatever the fuck you want.
I've got Jewish friends. It's fine.
Yeah, I got Jewish friends.
Got Jew friends.
Yeah. I've seen some good, like I said, man, Mel Brooks is a fucking genius. Murray Rothbard, fucking genius. There's brilliant minds out there. Go read some Jews. And, but
I just want to end on, I love all white people. I also hate all white people.
Yeah.
The shitty ones are in the hate category. Like, doesn't matter what the skin color is. The shitty ones are the ones I hate. I hate Jews. Only the shitty ones, though. The shitty ones I hate.
Screen grab.
This can go, in any direction. I hate blacks, but just the shitty ones.
You guys I'm gonna clip the shit out of this. All of it.
And then I will have a rabbi on my show to tell me what I said, and then I will pull up the actual conversation that happened, and then I will probably not have disavowed anti-Semitism quite enough, but I disavow hatred of any group, and I encourage disdain for shitty people of any race or creed or community. So that's my final stance.
Beautifully said.
Dave, where can people find you, and anything else you got? We'll get out of here, and we're gonna have to end on Steve.
Go follow Dave versus Goliath on YouTube. I do a podcast once every 2 months, and you can follow me on Twitter, Dave versus Goliath once.
Keeping it regular.
Yeah, we'll get back there. No, man, I'm working hard on this campaign, and I really enjoy doing this show. So we'll see where things take us, but I like interviewing people too. It's fun. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
right
go subscribe there.
And you can follow me at TSIDpod on the X, or at thesystemisdown.tv. Dan at tsidpod.com, wherever the Systems Downs are sold. And we will talk to y'all next time. I don't have my outro thing set up, so it will be the wrong final screen. But before we get to that, we do have to end on a positive note to bring us back around.
Hey, I'm checking in. Tell me, what's going on?
Well, Steve, you see, there's this cabal. No, let me back up. Hold on, we're still on YouTube, right, Steve? Are you still listening? I don't want to alarm you about anything that I'm saying here. I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but it seems like some people are doing some shitty things in the world, and I don't like making connections. I don't like noticing. I really don't. But I just want it to stop. That's all. I want death to stop. I want shitty people to stop being shitty. I don't care what they look like. Steve, do you understand? It's not racist. It's not anti-Semitic. It's not anything. It's really just about, I want people to stop killing people. And I don't care what their brand is. I don't care what their politics are. Just stop doing. Don't cut me off, Steve. Steve, hold on. No, I have more. I want to talk about Israel and Palestine for a second.
Hey, I'm checking in.
That's all. Thanks y'all for being here. We'll see you next time. Question everything. Stay uncomfortable. Be bad. Have fun. Peace out.
Welcome to the system. Everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. It hates you all. Parents are the system. Violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.